And everyone, episode 8, Battle Collect Star Wars podcast. And how's everybody doing? It's been a long time we've been on, but I am here as always with my good friend, um, 80 Beats.
Oh, hi.
Sorry to
Caught me with a mouthful there.
and Swampgrass.
Hey, yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Feeling good. Feeling
It's been a
good.
minute or two, yeah.
All right, so wow, yeah, you're right. It's been a while. I mean, we missed a lot of stuff in that time period.
Well, we like to do episodes in bulk, like throw
Yeah,
everything at it, you know what I mean? It's kind of how we do
yeah,
things here.
super mega episodes.
Super mega episodes, yeah, 4 hours long, just bore the viewers to death.
Long form, long
Yeah,
form.
this is the long form episode, guys.
um, so yeah, I mean, we had the end of the Bad Batch. We've had Tales of the Empire come in. Had May the 4th, Star Wars Day, and I know we all had little things going on, doing things. Um, let's get into that. Guys. What you guys do for May the 4th?
So for me, I had a punk rock show themed as Star Wars, and I was at a brewery. It's like a brewery concert series. It was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. They made a beer, Wampa Juice, and we all took part in that. It was interesting. They tried to go with like a blue milk kind of thing. So the ingredients put into this beer were like blueberry and blue Kool-Aid. A
Mm.
little bit of interesting flavors. It was actually the worst beer I had the whole night, but that's because the Village Brewery just has such fantastic beers. It's very difficult to compare to that, but it was not the worst thing I ever drank. But yeah, really great show. My brother won best costume because he was the only one wearing a costume. He
Nice.
basically just tossed on a bathrobe and a cape and brought his Darth Vader lightsaber. So
Why didn't you dress up?
I just wore like Star Wars shirt, and that seemed to be what like every single person wore, other
Yeah.
than some of the girls. But yeah, I don't really have a costume per se, but I had a nice Star Wars shirt and stuff like that.
How
Yeah.
how was the punk show though?
Oh, it was awesome. I brought the energy for sure.
Oh,
There was
did you?
like I grew up going to punk shows and stuff, so I'm out there like swinging my arms around and just
Oh yeah,
going
in
nuts.
the middle
People
of the
are
mosh pit.
like starting my own mosh pits everywhere, you
Oh
know.
yeah, and people are going, "Don't go in that guy's mosh pit. His arms are flying.
They're like, look at that guy.
Look at that guy.
He's
But no,
really into it.
He's really into it."
the bartender's like, I see you out there. Just, some people notice. Some people notice.
Awesome.
But great times, great times. I haven't been to a rock show like that in ages, so that felt really awesome to get out and
Yeah,
yeah, shake my fist.
your fists,
Yeah,
fists.
fists.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, interviews? Anything special for May 4th?
Well, I mean, not as interesting as Swamp and probably yourself. Like I didn't really attend anything or go to a showing of the Phantom Menace or anything like that. It was basically just sitting at home, wearing the Star Wars shirts and drinking out of my Star Wars coffee as I normally do. That's like an everyday thing, but um, I threw on a couple movies and just watch some Star Wars movies in the background while doing things around the house. And
Nice.
I'm pretty sure we had some sort of hockey that day. I don't know. It's been a couple weeks, but yeah, not as interesting as you guys, but still Star Wars themed. just like any other day, I guess.
Hey,
Sad face, but yeah,
it still sounds like a fun day for me. I would be excited to be home, relaxed, watching some Star Wars.
That's it, right? Like we like to relax a lot, so that's relaxing to me. Throw on some Star Wars tunes or something, you know what I mean? Throw on a Star Wars score from one of the movies and just listen to it, or while doing things, That's just kind of how I roll. Yeah.
I actually got to go live broadcast another podcast of Rebel Force Radio. They're one of the oldest ones. But I know now they're pretty much interviewed everyone in the industry. They know everybody. They're just really great guys. They've got an amazing a lot fun to watch those guys. But they also brought in a band from my area called High Adventure. Like a 10-piece band. They're known for doing different comic books. Like they make their own original music. They have funny thing I found out. They actually have five original Star
Wars. What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What is this band again?
They're called High Adventure. I'd say check them out. They're a really good band.
I'm definitely gonna try to check those out.
Yeah. And that was very cool. That. Am I still cutting out a lot?
No, you sound good to me. I'm not sure if it sounds different on the stream though.
Yeah, it's somebody saying I'm cutting out. There we go. Thank you very much for that. But also, one of the people that they interviewed during the show was guy Robert Lopez. He's actually a guy who's from Disney. Who knows a lot about the Star Wars universe. Hasn't done anything in Star Wars, but knows everybody. But his big claim to fame is that he is the writer of pretty much all the.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he came up and he was telling his stories about the times he's been around different Star Wars people. The time he got to meet George Lucas. He's also involved in a puppet show called Avenue Key. I've never really watched it. It's supposed to be like a Sesame show. But he was
Sounds
saying
interesting.
He was saying that was where he met George Lucas. George Lucas just showed up for one day, and he was telling this great story about he's taking him through the backstage, and he's going through and he's talking about puppets and everything, and George was just sitting there nodding and going along. When he got to the puppets, he was saying George just came out of nowhere and just said, "Oh yes, we were able to bring this technology." It's like, wow, okay. So you think you've like, it's just kind of funny because like out of nowhere, that was the one thing he said. The whole conversation, the guy's showing him everything, and just kind of hilarious, but great. All in all, great show. I would definitely do it again. If you guys ever get a chance to see them, definitely go see them. Rebel Force Radio. Of course, go check them out after checking us out.
Yeah, us first, please. Us first. Thank you.
But
yeah, I threw a YouTube link for High Adventures music there in the chat as well for people if they want to check it out after the podcast. No,
I gotta say, yeah. So definitely check them out. I mean, I was surprised with just how much good original music they had.
Like, is
just
it
Star
like
Wars
parody
stuff.
stuff? Is it parody stuff though?
Some of it kind of gives you the idea that it would have been, but some of it's like serious kind of music. I mean,
Okay.
they do
alright.
they do an ode to Qui-Gon Jinn, or and it doesn't sound like a parody when you're listening to it. It just sounds like it's Star Wars music.
Like I'm thinking Weird Al Yankovic right now. Like,
No, 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 no. I wouldn't go there. That's not what I'm thinking when I.
So when I clicked on it, it did play a bit of like whatever the first video on there. It was like a Game of Thrones thing. It sounded like a very epic score.
Yeah,
So
they seem like they go serious with it. There might be a couple parodies in there, but I haven't listened to it all.
the Fury of Darth Maul, The Rise of Cad Bane, The Way of Qui-Gon Jinn,
Yeah,
Ahsoka Lives.
Ahsoka Lives. That's when they performed. Also, that's not a
Okay.
parody. That is definitely not a parody. I think that's actually
Okay.
I think that's actually one of their more famous songs.
They haven't done anything since 2015 either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wonder if they're. I mean, obviously they're still together, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they just stopped with the YouTube and using TikTok or something more relevant.
right. That's on Spotify, so there's nothing on Spotify
Oh,
from
that's on Spotify.
since
Oh, okay, okay.
2015. Yeah. Cool. We'll check those out. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, all in all, great day, great time. There were people there dressed up. There are actually people that did a very good job. I mean, one guy that had basically was dressed up as Cassian Andor, spot on.
Nice.
It was like a well done. There were a couple people from the 500 there.
Yeah. Always
It,
around.
it was just a fun thing. I look forward to doing.
From the photo that you posted for us or wherever you posted it, it did have that kind of convention feel where it was just on stage and it kind of felt like there would be people there
Yeah.
like dressed up. Obviously there'd be people dressed up at a Star Wars thing, like, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have much more to say about it, but it was just a good time. Can go to Star Wars events, folks. You're gonna have a good time. You're gonna love every minute. Just do it.
Just do it.
But moving on from there, we get into the news, guys.
Let's go.
All right, let's
Oh,
go.
one thing before we move on, I just realized I didn't shout out the names of the bands that I seen. I should probably do that since I was talking about the shows. Shout out to Downway, the headliner, and the opening band, Any Which Way. Both rocked.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay,
All right.
where do we want to start?
Dang. I think I got a coffee ground in my throat.
You're gonna be all
Don't
right.
die.
Started sounding like Jabba. Oh, 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 oh.
All right, so um, let's start with I'll start with this coming from Star Wars News, and it's basically saying Skeleton Crew reportedly coming to Disney Plus this Christmas. It says here has a firm window. Speaking with Collider at CCX.
CCXP. I don't know.
Executive producer John Watts said that the upcoming Disney Plus series will premiere sometime around Christmas or December 25th. Holiday actually falls on a Wednesday this year. There may be a June Plus size present in the stocking. Of course, anything is still possible until Lucasfilm announces it. Christmas season window does align with previous reports that the series was targeting late. Actor Dane DeLegro has an undisclosed has recently said he thinks aim for November to take advantage of the holiday. Not much is known about the series Beyond that, it will feature a group for children. Their names in Lost in the Galaxy. They cross paths with Jude Law, who is playing a 14 character. He is initially thought he was a Jedi. Law has previously came out on that prospect. The series is set in the time frame of the Mandalorian season main that was the pirate, one of the pirates, part of that group that Mandalorian. Yeah, I forget the name of that.
It's like right there on the tip of my tongue too. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was the main plant where a lot of the stuff in the first season happened, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That one, yeah.
It's with an M.
Somebody help us. Somebody help us.
Now we'll get back to it. Other cast members include Carrie Condon, recently praised the children for their work. Skeleton. Have the I'm not gonna get. All right, but yeah, I think Christmas is a great time for it to come. I don't know if it necessarily has to be Christmas Day. You're gonna drop like episode, which I mean on a Christmas Day would be.
Who's got time for that on Christmas Day though? Like,
I'm assuming.
Yeah, guys, I looked up.
okay,
I looked.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay.
So
maybe some people do. I don't know.
The CCXP thing is a comic expo in Mexico. Just so you know. I looked it up. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Have we seen? Has anybody found the planet yet that we're trying to figure out here?
I'm gonna. But while I'm doing that, yeah, I'm totally fine with
Navarro.
That's
not
it.
an M.
Yeah.
Just drives me nuts. It's like how many times have we talked about that planet? And
yeah, no doubt
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the right time of year for it. I mean, everything that's coming out, we're gonna see the Acolyte in a couple of weeks. That's gonna carry us through the summer. Then we're gonna be by around that time we're gonna be fidgeting for more. So yeah, it works.
There's going to be a gap, yeah, because after the Acolyte, like that goes. How many episodes of the Acolyte did they say? Like 8 or 6? So it's like going into July, probably, right? So, and then we have a gap.
Well, we also have. I don't remember if we got a date, but Tales of the Jedi season 2 as well, right? Sometime soon.
I don't think we've gotten a date.
Is that supposed to drop too?
Yeah, I think it's this year though, as far as what I remember. I don't remember if they have an actual day, but I think I remember it being in the schedule for this year. In fact, I thought it was going to come like right after Tales of the Empire, but I guess not. Not quite.
I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think they need to. I'd rather see them.
Right.
It's, I mean, number one.
Well, I think the reason I thought that is because I think they originally were talking about speculation that, Tales of the Jedi was going to drop on May 4th, and then they kind of like,
Changed it.
Yeah, all of a sudden dropped that trailer for Tales of the Empire. We're like, oh, okay.
Which was a nice surprise. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was definitely okay with it.
Yeah. All I'm getting here is it's set to release in 2024. There isn't an actual date.
Okay.
I mean, so yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, I mean that still drops somewhere in the fall, right? And then that would be nice to get us through. If it won't get us through because they're going to drop all the episodes just like they did the other one. So
yeah, it'll be an evening.
You can watch one episode a week. You know what I mean? But could you? It's there at your fingertips. But I don't know.
Talk about each episode for 3 hours, but
yeah, right.
Watch each one 3 times before moving on.
In frame 14,847 of
yeah. Yeah.
There
But
was an
the
inaccuracy.
color pixel on the yeah.
but yeah, I mean it'll be nice to hold us over. I think in that time we're gonna have a bunch of other. I mean, once you start getting into Comic Con, start getting into where Disney's gonna start making more announcements.
Yeah, there's gonna be other release dates for stuff too. We're gonna find
Yeah,
going through this year, hopefully. Like,
I mean, I don't think we're gonna be at a shortage for news as much as people think. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, we still have movies. We're on the way. They're gonna probably start talking about casting, like you said, dates. There's gonna be a lot there to talk about. I'm very excited. So,
and I mean, we're expecting a trailer at some point for the Skeleton Crew at some point, hopefully.
yeah, and that too.
A couple months before.
And you gotta
But,
expect
yeah,
at least a
there's a lot of
couple
stuff.
trailers coming in because I mean we
Hopefully.
know nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Like it's still, and it's one of those things right now where we're still like, yeah, there's stuff being talked about Skeleton Crew, but what we still have no idea what's going on. Like we
And-
know the cast, we know Jude Law, we know he's force sensitive, and we know it's like an adventure through space with these kids, and that's it. Like,
yeah, and we know some way that, like we said, one pirate is there.
yeah,
Urkel's playing a role. That's about all we know.
Yep. Yeah.
That's all we know. And I give them credit.
Did I do that?
I give them all the credit in the world because usually people are good and they've broken down half of this stuff, and we have a good idea of what's going on by this, and no one knows anything.
I mean, to be fair, again, there's still no release date too, right? We know the vicinity, but we don't know the actual date, which I'm hoping we get at some point this summer. Yeah. I mean, they're doing it by segments. It's like, yeah, okay, it's coming. Okay, we're gonna release this. I mean, I'm pretty sure they know when they're gonna release it. They just haven't told anything yet. They're just like, oh, this is where it's gonna go, and then we'll tell them what the date's gonna be. We'll wait till next month, and then we'll wait another couple months, and we'll drop a trailer. They know, like, they're playing with our heartstrings.
Yeah, they know how to keep us on the hook.
Yeah, it's the one thing they know how to do well.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah. All right, so next week in obviously Day of the 4th right out of there is out of Tales of the Empire was trailer for the Acolyte.
Right.
And came out and a lot more to work with. Actually got at our I don't know if it's this Acolyte or if it's another assassin.
We'll call him Zipperface.
Yes, we'll call him.
Yeah.
He will now be known as Zipperface forever.
Zipperface, yeah.
But Zipperface kind of has me wondering.
Yes.
Who the hell is Zipperface? Because it doesn't fit any of the that we know. Considering it's 100 years going into Phantom Menace. Who is this guy? We don't know. We don't know Zipperface. So
Zipperface.
Yeah, and we still are hung up on this mystery of, like, Sith haven't been seen for thousands of years, so does everybody die, or that type of thing.
I mean, everybody should die.
I mean,
or
Phantom
is
Menace
he a
starts
Sith?
when they don't know, right?
Yeah, or is he not a Sith? He could just be, some
I
other malevolent person that has a red lightsaber.
I
Yeah.
feel like he's like force sensitive, dark side kind of thing, but he's not really a Sith. Like he has like a sort of a resemblance of like the Knights of Ren sort of feel
Mm.
or whatever it is.
I have heard,
I don't
I
know.
have seen people idea of maybe Knights of Ren. Which, I mean, if that's the direction they
I
want
mean,
to take, I don't.
that would be all right in my books, considering what they did with the Knights of Ren in the other movie there.
Well,
But
I mean, my idea is for the day. I mean, unless it's in a bookstore that I missed, that's definitely possible. What do we know about them? I
well,
mean,
other than the comic series that they did to kind of backtrack what they were a little while ago, right?
okay, yeah,
There's a series for them, right?
yeah,
And
I
that's
didn't
about
even
it.
realize the comic book. I missed that,
Yeah.
so that's something I'm gonna have to go look at. Cause I mean, I know. Other than that, it's like I'm saying to myself. Number one, I mean, I understand. Great, his name was Kylo Ren. Had his Knights of Ren. What's Ren? Still haven't figured
Yeah.
that out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a
Yeah.
lot of lore behind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That's for
all
sure.
I really know is at some point I read somewhere that that Kylo had joined the Knights of Ren that already existed, became their leader, and goes from there. But
Yeah,
that's about
Takes the name
all
of
I know.
Ren, right?
Yeah.
and again,
May,
no issues with it. I'm perfectly fine with it. Need some extra backstory about it. I mean, and if they're gonna use this to give me a little more backstory about it, let's go. I'm down. Let's do it.
like is all of their last names Ren, and like how Kylo would be like their first
Mm.
name, and they're all like something Ren, and this guy's something Ren, and this guy's something Ren. I mean, that would work. Knights of Ren, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean,
what are your names?
was this like
Tell
a
us something.
was this
Grumpy
like a
Ren, Sleepy Ren.
Joe Joe Bob Red?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What if they're Snow White?
Uh,
It is Disney.
but
yeah.
but I mean, I would love to know. I mean, were these guys meant to be like a secondary dark side version? Like you have your Sith, your two Darths, or your Sith Lord and your Sith Apprentice, and maybe any acolytes that they have that might be out there, trying to retake over the galaxy. Maybe these Knights of Ren, I don't know, maybe they're like a shadow group that are also trying to do the same thing, but they know they can't operate it, so they created this Ren or something like
Yeah.
that. I want to know.
Well, or it could also be that this is another sort of what's it called, device by Palpatine that was set up in the past, where it's like, okay, there's going to be this group and they're going to suss out who's the best Force user, kind of like this guy's pretty smart, he has all these future plans, could be something like that.
I just don't know about. I don't know about that. At this point, Palpatine shouldn't even.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, he planned out all these things well before he died, right? Like the Exegol, all these things,
Well, no,
right? So I'm saying,
that stuff he would have learned along the way. But I mean, like at this point, like I said, we're at about 100 years before being a menace. I mean, I'm thinking Palpatine's not even born yet.
oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, if we were thinking maybe like a Darth Plagueis or Darth Tenebris, okay, but neither one of them are gonna fit in the zipper face. So
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
that's the part that makes
Because
me
of the
wonder.
hand, we know the hand. No.
Yeah.
The hand, yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, when I was obsessing about the hand from the previous trailer, I feel like it's not Zipperface. It's probably the girl. that we see.
Oh, the one that
The
was
the
fighting.
assassin girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Zipperface's hand could be totally different.
Well, there were rumors flying around about that as well. I know there were some rumors flying around that she might not just be her, but she might technically.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're doing
So
another twin story, are we?
Ah, there are two of them.
There are two of them, or it's another Luke and Leia sort of thing. Like,
well, I think they were saying obviously Master Soul is the guy being the Jedi Master.
yeah,
I guess when he finds out who this is, he wants to go after her because he trained her.
right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I guess they were saying like when he went and brought her into the Jedi, um, there were twins. He took her because the other twin would not be.
Oh,
So
okay.
somewhere
Maybe
along the way,
this one dies. This one dies, and he goes after the other one or something. And
yeah,
Well, yeah, we do see in that Carrie Fisher scene that the girl is fighting with like some kind of little knives, like ninja style. So maybe one is, combat efficient but not force sensitive, and then the other one is force sensitive. Maybe.
Mm.
Maybe.
I mean, there's possibilities. I mean,
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
even then we get more of that fight with Jedi Master.
Mm,
Oh yeah,
It looks
yeah.
it looks like an interesting fight. I mean,
she is man. Just watching that, like you're like, oh man, so cool.
yeah.
She's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Matrix.
But did you
flashbacks.
guys
Oh
know
man.
that her moves were inspired by the Matrix?
Ooh. Oh man. Like where'd that information
That
come
was
from?
that was so funny. I thought last time
Oh my gosh.
when Leslie Headland was talking about that, we're like, yeah,
Yeah,
you showed us the trailer. We seen it. It's the exact same
Like,
choreography.
duh, you think? Like, what did you watch The Matrix and then redo it? Like,
Yeah, it's like
so,
who is
oh,
the guy?
oh,
John Woo, I want to say, that did
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Are you and John Woo
choreography.
like this? Like, are you guys together? Or no? Are you
Like,
guys best friends? Not together, because I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing
Yeah,
is
like,
missing.
well, that's what I was gonna say. The only thing that's missing for me, anyways, is in the second one where she jumps off the bike and does the backflip.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I feel like she's gonna like jump off like a land speeder and like do a
Yeah.
backflip or something. Like,
I was
But
gonna
she's
say,
like,
I was
like,
gonna say,
oh,
dodge,
that looks
dodge
familiar.
yeah.
this.
I was gonna say
She puts a blaster up.
the thing that was missing for me was like her like running up on a wall or something, like
Yeah,
spinning
yeah,
around and
Doing
like
the walk. Yep.
like a spin
Yep.
kick or something.
yeah.
Yep. Like in
Dodging the
that lobby,
bullets.
the lobby scene,
Whoa.
she jumps and then like or is that Neo does the flip like this and
I think that was
Yeah, I
Neo.
think
Yeah,
both of them are doing stuff like that all over the place.
yeah. Jedi Knight Trinity.
hey, they
All
brought
right.
her in. They brought her in. They knew this was coming.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, so excuse me, guys. Anything else you guys want to add to this?
Um. Oh yeah, we seen a little bit more of Vernestra, so that was neat. Saw her say a word or a couple words or whatever, and seen what she looks like a little bit better. So that was neat.
Yeah, they're keeping.
That was about
Your little crush on Vernestra.
it.
You like the older ladies?
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Because at this point she's like a master Jedi, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
one of the
I can't wait
elders.
to see what her whip lightsaber looks like. I know
Yeah, I
we
hope they.
we had
I hope they do.
confirmation that is going to be in there.
I
So
hope they do it justice though. Like I hope it
yeah,
looks good and not like Indiana Jones's whip with lights on it or something. You know what I mean?
they grab one of those LED strings.
Oh no, no, no. I hope it doesn't look like in the Last Jedi there where the Praetorian guards they had those like
Oh yeah, the
things like
the
that where it like
the
bent.
chain sword
Yeah, I
thingy.
hope it doesn't
Oh
look
yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought it was
yeah,
cool for that moment, but I don't want to see it in this.
yeah. They better do a good whip.
That's like I'm
Whip
hoping
it
it's
up.
something that
Whip it good.
I'm hoping it's something that will bring my interest in. I would be interested in where. Okay, how do I put it? Like in the case of say, if I had to say my favorite lightsaber, all of Star, I would say Dark. There's
Oh,
just
me
something about
too.
the design of that
It's
lightsaber.
it's the hilts.
Yeah,
Well, the hilts are my like him and
Hmm.
Ventress, right? There's the
Yeah,
two
him and
really
yeah,
cool
Ventress
ones that
are really
stand out.
similar.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that hers will be some way have an interesting kind of look that I would sit there and say I want,
yeah.
and I would love to see them find a way to actually make the work. I mean,
Like, well, you got to think how a whip works too, right? You like the
well,
whip is used to grab a hold of something and to whatever, right? So like, is it going to grab a hold of something and burn through it because it's a lightsaber? you
I
know,
mean,
how does that work?
I'm not expecting perfection here. Be let's be
We're
realistic too.
not.
But
Hello, no.
I mean, I mean, I'm not expecting it to sit here and be actually functional. They're gonna grab people, but something where I would love to see somebody just get. We're able to make the. Obviously, it's easier to make a quote unquote sword blade with the lighting inside and everything. This is I'd like to just
But
maybe
like
make it so.
practicality of it, you're talking about, like,
Yeah, I mean, just to make it look good. I'm not. It doesn't
yeah,
have to be. It doesn't have to be fight ready.
yeah.
Yeah, we I don't know if you guys recall, but in what's it called? The animated thing. Visions, first season of Visions, there was several episodes that had these lightsaber whips, but obviously in animation it's so much easier to,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
make it do whatever you want, right? So
Or same in the
yeah,
comics, right? You or the
mhm,
stories of the old or the High
the High
Republic era,
Republic.
right? Like you can see it all in the stories of the comics where they got like it's easy to put it on page and make it like, oh, that's so cool. But yeah, practicality, it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. If they do it, like, is it gonna be used or is it gonna be like, is she standing there and she like, how Indiana Jones drops the whip, like the whole thing and it just coils down?
Yeah, or even
Is it
like
just gonna
when you
happen
like
like
whip it
that? And
back and it's like laying on the ground and sparks are flying or
yeah, right.
something,
I
you
like
know, like
something cool. Like, I don't
yeah, it
know.
could be really neat. Could be depending on how they do it.
Like, how do you fight that? Like, another lightsabers. Like, you're like, oh, this is a straight lightsaber. I got the whip wraps around the lightsaber, and like, I mean, neat.
One thing we know with the new age of Star Wars, it likely is not fatal, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, somebody just loses an arm or
They
goes
get a
through
little
one, but
scratch.
it's a
Yeah,
scratch,
scratch
right?
their
So,
jacket.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, scratch their jacket.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll pour some dirt out. You'll be good.
Anybody got a Bacta tank? I got
Yeah.
some Bacta juice.
Back to spray.
It'll heal you.
Yeah.
All right, so
I think we should
yes.
move on because we're talking quite a bit about these new stuff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
All we have left for news, though, is the trailer of the Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. So that was pretty
Oh,
exciting.
we have one more. Yeah, I mean,
And one more.
but yeah, that was the most unexpected. little bit of hype that I gained quite a bit.
Yep.
I gotta say, I was not expecting. Usually, I hear as a Lego Star Wars, it's like, okay, it's just another cartoon. Catch it when I get catch it. No big deal. This one, I'm gonna be looking forward to it.
Mm.
Darth Jar Jar, let's go.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I've had that emote forever. That's in my
Yeah.
channel. I got a poster right here. Look, guys. You don't know. There's my emote. Darth Jar Jar. It's my rage emote. But it's the coolest. Yeah, it's one of these things where we've talked about it before, where the whole what if stuff in Star Wars, and it's just like this is the perfect way to do it, and it's easy for Lego to do it and the concept is super simple, right?
Mhm.
Everything's like whatever happened, it looks like a magic gem or a magic stone that just
That
like
flip things
that
around.
flips everything around, right? So
Yeah.
everything in
Yeah,
it,
and it looks fantastic. It looks
yeah.
very good, very good. Like well produced and very nice.
Yeah, it's the quality of it looks good. Like they keep getting better and better at the Lego stuff because they keep
Yeah.
doing it. Like why not?
Mhm.
But yeah,
And
no, it
the
looks good.
concept of it all is just how it's out. Remember the date they said, but find out I'm gonna put up a calendar. You're gonna definitely go sit there and watch that.
Yeah, it's
And also, as far as like marketing, very smart thing because Lego is probably one of the higher selling Star Wars merchandises. So I could
it is.
imagine some pretty elaborate
Oh
sets
man,
coming out of this and
Yeah.
big
imagine though,
money,
like
big
yeah,
money.
yeah, for sure. Like all the stuff in this movie will be, or a lot
Hmm.
of the main stuff will be designed and put on the shelves to sell. So I think
Yeah.
that's
Not for nothing.
Oh
well,
yeah.
yeah,
They,
yeah. It's the
they
only
probably,
place you're gonna be able to find a Darth Jar Jar. Like everybody's gonna
Yeah.
buy it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Especially if they do like a limited series version or some kind of stuff like
Well,
that. People are
imagine
gonna
they
go
do because
crazy.
they do the bigger ones for like the helmets, like the Black Series stuff. So they'll do the
Mm-hmm.
Lego bigger ones. So I can see them doing like a I don't know, whatever size it is of a Darth Jar Jar, with the
Mm-hmm.
lightsaber and stuff. And that would probably sell off the shelves,
Yeah, for sure.
including
Guaranteed.
myself, because I don't usually buy that. So I might buy that if it comes out.
Yeah. And even like Darth Jar Jar Funko Pops and all kinds of stuff like that too.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Didn't even
surprised they haven't
think
done
about
that
that
already by
actually.
now.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, and
I'm really
Yeah.
surprised
man,
they
oh man,
haven't
yeah.
done it. So
Well, I'm
Yeah, they
surprised they
might
do.
have. They might
Yeah.
have. I don't know.
There's not a lot of Funko, like there's so much Star Wars Funko Pop, and I don't think there's any that are Star Wars, like a Lego version of the characters. So it'd be a first, I think. So check it out, guys. Check out the trailer if you guys haven't.
alright,
So
so
apparently there is a Darth Jar Jar Funko Pop, but not in the styling of Lego.
What?
Apparently.
Apparently.
Oh, never mind. It says fan creates custom Funko Pop. Never
Okay,
mind.
that's
Never
it. Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even if there was, like, man, oh man, that'd be so expensive probably to find and buy.
Hmm.
It
yeah,
would it would be one of those ones that would
You have
drop
to buy it at a
exclusively at a
show, like
convention or a
a
show or
convention.
something.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But anyways, might
Yep.
as well move on from
Move
there,
on.
eh?
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right,
Keep going.
all right. I'll jump into it. This story coming out of Empire magazine, and pretty big news saying Sigourney Weaver in time.
The
Um,
queen of sci-fi,
The
guys. The
queen.
queen.
so you're in space, no one back here on Terra. Sci-fi fan that just that with the alien. Um, Sigourney Weaver is reportedly headed for Galaxy. Yes, is first reported by and then confirmed by THR and Variety. More is in talks to join Jon Favreau's hotly anticipated Mandalorian. Expected to shoot this June. Mandoverse movie eyeing a set to become the first Star Wars big screen outing 2019 Rise of Skywalker.
Man, like
Wow.
look at the gap there.
Wow.
That's crazy, man. Nuts.
That's wild.
Favreau has written and will direct the film, on which he'll also serve as producer alongside usual suspect Kathleen Kennedy.
Usual suspects.
I think this article is wrong though. It says it's set to become the first Star Wars big screen outing since 2019, but I think we did see that Rey is going to be first, right? The Rey movie?
Unless something has they were talking about the Rey movie being, but
yeah, I think that's correct. I think that's correct.
2024.
We'll have to look.
Like this was dropped. Like this was published May 13th. It looks like, right? So there might be some
Maybe
unless they messed up. Right?
Yeah, I feel like either they forgot like while they were writing this article they like lapsed on remembering that or something has changed, one or the other.
I mean, reading through this, there's not much, but
yeah, just exciting that
I mean
that such a legend might be joining Star Wars. Heck yeah.
Like to me, she's the gatekeeper in Ghostbusters.
I mean, and you are correct. Absolutely 100%.
I know other people are going to disagree with me and say that no. She's in Alien. She's the
to me she's Ripley.
And I get it.
Ripley.
Yeah.
She will always be Ripley.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I think I watched more Ghostbusters than Alien as a kid, so that's just me.
Actually,
there you go.
You could also argue. I mean, I always like the kind of one of those old classic movies, Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie. That's a great movie.
Yeah, like one of those movies I didn't think I was gonna like when I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. It's like, yeah, but this is really good.
But and it was like I think it was. I remember it was on like a couple months ago on TV, and I forgot. I was like, oh man, Alan Rickman, like man,
yeah,
so
it's like,
good.
Really good.
It's
cast.
fun. It's fun watching some of those old movies. I kind of did the same thing recently with Starship Troopers. I'm like, man, this movie was actually kind of fun.
The first one, yes.
Yeah,
the rest of them was just crap.
The rest of them not so much, but yeah.
Watch them.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think I watched the second one and then I was done.
Okay.
Yeah, they tried to make it more like, I don't know. It's like they were trying to create a brand out of it, but trying way too hard.
Oh. And then they got a lot of B and C list actors to do things, and you're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
this is nothing.
Okay, I guess
this is nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is great news. I'm partially interested in what they'll do. What role in this?
Yeah, I feel like due to her age, she won't be in intense action role like we would love to see her in, but still gonna be awesome to see her. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe that like with CGI they can do anything.
Well, they could do. They could have somebody play her younger body and put her on the butt. You know what I mean? And do like some sort of like flashback of her actually fighting things, and then but she's an older lady nowadays, and yada yada.
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna throw there and going where the Mandoverse is going. Find a way to bring.
Ooh, yeah,
that could be pretty cool.
I mean, if we're talking about bringing back Night Sisters and all those kinds of powers, I think that would be.
Well, I also wonder too, because I mean with us losing Apollo Creed, I wonder if she steps in as the magistrate now.
Oh, that could be interesting.
That's an interesting choice too. Yeah, that would be. I find that very interesting.
Because you lose one you know,
Or,
one
or,
actor like that, fill it with another.
or even then, I mean, start thinking again, like magistrate, villain. Yeah, remember, I mean, we're starting to bring all of these admirals. Now have Grand Admiral Thrawn, brought Captain Pelion. Imagine if she's like an Admiral Bala, or,
Mm.
or
Like, to me, the ultimate though would be if she has some kind of big gun. I just put a picture in the Discord chat so you guys can see what I'm making reference to. But yeah, just her with a
Big
big
gun.
old
She
huge gun, regardless of
walking
her
around with a
role.
big
As
gun all
long,
the time.
yeah, yeah, that would
problem
be cool.
solved.
Problem solved. Yeah. Well, I mean, this all like I'm thinking now she's like the magistrate, but she's like walking around this giant gun all the time now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, one time he was a fight instead of Carl Weathers, like bring everybody back to safety. She comes up with a gun. Where are they?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Or it just shows her the whole time looking like Mon Mothma with like a long gown, and then there's some kind of attack, and then she just comes out with the big strap. Let's go.
No, it's underneath her robe. So like
Oh
she
yeah,
pushes the robe aside and like I'm like, where did that come from, man?
yeah.
Full
That'd
battle
be awesome.
armor.
Her robe
Yeah.
turns into a cape, like, and she's got this battle armor. You're like, what the? Great. I want to see that now. Come on.
Or
Come
what
on,
if she's
Favreau. Are you watching us?
a cool Mandalorian? That could be cool too.
Maybe she's a Mando. Yeah, you never know, too,
Hey.
right?
Idea too.
She'd be a Mando
Yeah.
from the old days, right?
Or we could be thinking about this totally wrong. She could be an Imperial remnant villain person too.
Well, like
Well,
I said, I
that's the
think,
Empire Admirals, yeah.
yeah, I think it all leads to the idea that you're bringing in such a good actress and someone that has the ability to do so many things in this world, and
It's
we can't even narrow it down right now.
wait, it's not going to
Yeah,
be
it's
it's
true.
not going to be a B-side role either. She's going to be prominent. You're not going to bring in Sigourney Weaver and not have her do something that matters, So
Yeah,
I don't know. They have kind of done that before with
I
big
know,
name
but this is
actors though
Sigourney
too. But
Weaver.
yeah,
You
it's true.
can't,
It's true.
the queen of sci-fi. You can't bring her in and not have her do anything. I
Yeah.
mean, you bring in Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers has a key role in the storyline, right? Like it'd be something similar to that, I think.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
yeah. And
Yeah, I
if
hope so.
it
I
wasn't that
hope
big a
so.
role, I don't think we're at a point where we're even talking about this right now. Sometime next year, if it will.
Yeah. Well, they're only starting to shoot this summer, right? So we're not going to see anything unless we get some leaks from photos and stuff. Yeah, we're not going to see anything till next year. But yeah, it is interesting.
Mhm.
I mean, that being said, I'm excited for. Can't wait to see where it goes.
Getting more exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. Who do we want to jump into?
I'm just gonna quickly mention that next other thing. We got the official release date for Star Wars Hunters for essentially a mobile game. In the stylings of sort of Apex Legends, first-person shooter. It's been out for quite a while now in early access, I believe, in Korea and India. And yeah, now full release coming out June 24th. So looking forward to that, at least trying it out and stuff like that. And yeah.
Is it free?
Yes.
Then I'll be trying it.
Probably not like free to win, but free to play.
No, but I mean, it's the same with Apex. Apex is free,
Yeah.
but you
Pay
pay to
for
get things. Yeah,
extra
I get.
things.
You're always gonna get that, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to try it for sure.
Yeah. Free to install it. Yeah.
One thing I did see that might change my mind, because it's not my style of play. Though
Right.
I'm gonna probably doesn't mean I'm not gonna try it. But
Mhm.
one thing that I saw about my interest, apparently not, it's not. Apparently you can.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I
So
Oh,
did
really?
hear that.
I can play that. Okay, nice.
I
yeah,
did hear
so
that. Yeah.
and I believe it's still on the Switch.
Mm.
That's probably if there's any platform I'm gonna play it on, it's probably going to be that.
Right.
So
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
that'd be
almost
interesting. Yeah.
it's almost as good as mobile. I got you.
Almost as good.
almost as, here we go.
Anything other than like card games or Swago, or people play Marvel Strike, like those kind of games are built for mobile games. But I mean, people are playing these like PUBG games and like Fortnite, whatever, and they
Yeah,
have the
it's
they have
the
the fake sticks that come out on the screen. I hate that. I can't.
Yeah,
It's so hard, man.
to
Like,
me that's the future of gaming. The
well,
future.
the future can go this way. Like, I'm gonna go this way.
I mean, unless
You
you
can
buy like one
leave
of
me
those
behind.
special, unless you buy one of those special joysticks building to whatever.
Yeah, you can
Like,
attach. It's like a controller, I guess.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
At which point, hey, guess what? I have a Nintendo Switch that can do the same thing. So
Yeah,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
let me tell you, I've played a lot of those like action style mobile games, and I would say I'm like significantly better using the phone compared to a controller, personally.
I mean, everybody has their preference. Like, I know my kids are the same too. Like, I watch them play some of their stuff with the fake joysticks that come out. I'm like, I don't even know like what's going on. Like,
I mean,
and they're like doing like accurate things. You're like, okay, whatever.
my difference is I know the size of my fat sausage finger thumb, and it doesn't work in situations. So yeah, if I can
Fair.
grab a joystick and do it on the Switch, that's how it's gonna happen. So yeah,
Everybody's got a preference. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
but moving right along.
All right, let's get because we spent an hour on the news, and I think that's a little longer than I thought we're here.
Yeah, for sure. For
So
sure.
what do we want to cover?
Let's go.
Why don't we cover the Bad Batch?
Okay, yeah.
It happened first. That being
It
said,
happened.
I'm throwing up the spoiler alert, everybody. Happened over a month ago. You should have watched this by now.
Could have.
Yeah, still spoiler alert because I had mentioned before, I don't know specifically with Tales of the Empire, but I know with Mandalorian season 2, somebody came to my stream and told me it wasn't out in their country yet when I was talking about it. So, different release dates and
Actually,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
that's
And
true. That happens.
All right,
and not everybody has Disney Plus and all that too. So
good point. I didn't think about that. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm
I
sorry
had
if
no
you're in one of
idea.
those. Really sorry if you're in one of those
We
countries
can't
where you
think of
haven't had a chance to
everybody,
watch it yet.
but this
Yeah.
spoiler alert tells everybody. Yeah, if you haven't watched it,
Yeah.
do not watch this until you watch that.
Hmm.
Then come back, please. Come on back.
Yes. Yes.
Pause us right now. Go
It
watch
says
it. Come
come
back.
back.
Yeah.
All right. So who wants to start this?
I'll start off. It's all good.
Yeah, I'll be right back,
Episode.
guys. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Just keep going.
All right. Episode 1, The Path of Fear. Tales of the Empire Season 1 takes place during the massacre of the Night Sisters on Dathomir, originally seen in Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 4, Episode 19. One of the only survivors, Morgan Elspeth, is saved by the neighboring tribe known as the Mountain Clan. Morgan persuades some Mountain Clan sisters to join her in gathering weapons, leaving tragic consequences and the beginning of Morgan's dark side path as she gives in to fear. So that was just a sort of quick little synopsis. A lot happens in this quick little episode for sure.
Okay. Gonna cover Tales of the Empire first.
Oh, did we not say that? Sorry. I thought we were doing that first.
That's all good. It's all good.
My bad.
We're there. Yeah. I'm sorry, but
All good, all good.
I have bad allergies. That
Oh,
not fun. But
yeah, yeah,
again, my apologies.
yeah. It's
I
all
will
good.
say in the beginning, and everybody thought it was more um
Grievous there.
grievous, and comes down it was their,
Hmm.
and it's a shame because that was a badass look, and
Hmm.
even with
Hmm.
how good of a fight she put up against Grievous stomped,
Yeah,
and it was like,
yeah, and she had
wow,
that those cool swords that she had. Those are neat.
yeah, and you could tell as the power drained from how he was beating her, and even then she was still putting up a hell of a fight, and yeah, eventually he just got her, but it was, I mean, when you watch the Clone Wars episode and you see how quickly they're getting beat down to the point where even Taj Ventress realizes I've got to get out of here, and it's like you're not even thinking about, you're just thinking, oh well, everybody else is away, and think about it now. The only people that we know of that survived that battle would have been Saj, Morgan Elsbeth, Aaron was,
Yeah, I was gonna say she was probably pretty young, eh?
how she got away. I think somewhere in this I would like to get way of how she managed to.
Mhm. Yeah, it could be because we're also seeing sort of a localized thing, right? Because she goes to see that mountain clan. It could be something on a different part of the planet as well,
Yeah, exactly.
or
So
something to that degree, right?
right. So I it was very interesting to watch that. And yeah,
Mm.
as you go through and you're watching Morgan now go through this mountain clan, and you could tell they don't really want her there. They want her gone as fast as possible because they're
Mhm.
worried that they're going to be attacked next.
Yeah.
And Morgan convinces them to actually go get the supplies. Excuse me. As soon as they get those supplies, droids are already on top of them.
Hmm.
So, and gotta admit that leader of the Mountain Clan is powerful. Oh,
Hmm. Hmm.
she came in and
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
wrecked the droids.
Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty cool. I found like visually too when she's kind of earlier standing on the cliff and it's kind of showing the destruction and everything. I found
Mm,
that very very intricate and well done. I was
yeah,
sort of
absolutely.
enthralled by that scene, like just paying attention to every little detail that I could. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot there, and it's like it's interesting how it all played out, and how see where it could build a lot more,
Mm.
and how it would drive her to get her revenge. The problem be kind of know I don't know. Obviously, the Emperor that, and
Right.
so it's like now you have all this anger and rage is where do you turn it now? And here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, if I recall correctly, that Order 66 happens in between the first episode and second episode there. Yeah, Andy,
Yeah.
you missed it. Apparently, I missed the cue that we were doing Bad Batch first, so we went into Tales of the Empire first. So yeah, here we are.
We're doing Tales of the Empire then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, right on.
We're still on episode one if there's anything you want to throw in there.
Well,
Yeah.
certainly. Hold on here. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about how
Bring up the
the
cave.
scenes were really, really well done. We've seen a lot of really cool imagery when it came to the destruction of Night Sister or destruction of Dathomir and stuff. And then, we were going into, um, Morgan and her mother and the leader of the Cave Clan being pretty awesome and stuff like that.
The Mountain Clan.
Mountain Clan, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I thought it was really neat to see, because I mean, you hear about I think there was briefly talk about the whole like taking out the Night Sisters in Clone Wars or whatever it was, and I'm not sure if this is like considered kind of that, or if it was something else, if this was another battle. I mean, it's with the Separatists attacking them, so maybe it's before the whole wipeout of the Night Sisters. I don't know.
Yeah, in the synopsis that I found, it does say takes place during the massacre of Night Sisters of Dathomir, originally seen in Clone Wars season 4, episode 19.
Okay.
So I feel like it is
Okay.
directly linked.
Directly linked in. Okay.
Just based on what that
So
synopsis provided.
So then what this series does for me is like it bridges those gaps. So that's cool. I like that. It's neat to see Grievous again as usual. Like I wonder if it's the same guy doing the voice, um, and seeing all that, seeing a younger Morgan Elsbeth. We know, pretty sure uh, the the actor plays the voice, I think, of her.
Oh yeah, it
I'm
is. It is her.
pretty sure, right? So that's always neat when they do that, and vice versa, I guess, right? Um, what else? Um, like just it's for me the Clone Wars stuff was always my favorite. So just to see like in anything, even with Mandalorian and the live action show, you see the old stuff from Clone Wars. It's always neat for me to see the callback, the super battle droids and the clankers and all that stuff. So it was neat in that aspect. Visually, I thought it was like fantastic. I thought the way that everything popped out, especially during that battle, like Grievous and everything was just really cool. Really well done. Um, and yeah, I mean the story, obviously, again, bridging the gap for stuff, um, is something this series or these series are good at doing. So that is something I always look forward to. So yeah, first episode was good, and I liked, as we go on, obviously, like the first 3 episodes are of Morgan Elsbeth. I'm not sure if it was me, if we were talking about it, or if it was with my buddy, because we watched it every whatever. We all watch all our Star Wars stuff together, but he said that we it was talked about where it was nice to see the first 3 episodes are Morgan, and the last 3 episodes are uh, Barris. So like they're together, which is nice because the Tales of the Jedi was back and forth, right? Like,
Yeah.
right. So it was nice that they actually did that.
I found with Tales of Jedi, I left a little bit of confusion for some people where they couldn't put together where one story ends and the other one,
right?
Like, because like I was talking to somebody and they're like, "Well, there's a bunch of stories about Jedi, isn't there?" Well, no, technically there's only 2 stories, but it just feels that way because it's all mixed together.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
That though, the idea was kind of try to do chronological order because of
Yeah.
and it's only made sense. Like, it's how the story would have progressed. But yeah, it would have been better if you kept together how each one.
I mean, mind you, you have Disney Plus. You can do that anyways. Like you can go, oh, I'm gonna watch episode 1, 3, and 4, and you know what I mean. So I guess you can do it, but
Yeah,
I mean,
and
if they
also
were to release it like separately, then yeah, you'd have a problem. But
And also they Disney Plus does that thing where they're like, oh, we put this assortment together in a
Oh
different
yeah,
order, you can try it out. So they could totally do that if they had it
yeah. You don't have
in
to search
a different
for it.
order.
We have it in this reel for you. Yeah, this is what you
Yeah.
have.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think so.
Ow. So too.
I'll take Path of here with Morgan already in the match. As she introduced Mandalorian season. Tales of the Empire episode takes place in Garen and Grogu and Ahsoka Tano. Having pitched her ideas to the Imperial community, Empire has little expensive TIE Defender that would be that would better protect its pilots compared to the current models. Danger of a rebellion following the Empire's rejection angered Morgan Dark Hope. Surprising arrival of Admiral was quite interesting ambition and desire for it. Now, as
Oh man, this episode was so cool. I thought you get the Paleon, you got Thrawn, you had what's his Ruck, the assassin. Like I wasn't expecting Ruck. That was one of the ones I was like,
Yeah,
oh my
that was
gosh,
cool.
it's Ruck. I was yeah. I mean, when Paleon shows up too, like you're like, oh Paleon, this is cool too, like right. But
Mhm.
just to hear Thrawn talk at the end, you're just like, because I knew it was coming after the whole. It was like,
Yeah,
and then he talks, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Like, I don't know why I don't know why his voice is so like appealing. Like just the way he
yeah,
talks, right? The strategy, you can tell he's thinking the whole time. Like it's just like one of those things, and I don't know why, but it's just like, oh man, it's so cool.
yeah.
Um,
He's got like such a good cadence where it just kind of like feels epic whenever he opens his mouth.
yeah, yeah, no, I think this whole episode was super cool from like the beginnings, like when she's the what is she, the magistrate, is that what it is? Yeah, the magistrate. So this is the beginnings of her magistrate, right?
Mhm.
And then the next one's kind of like, I can't
she's
remember
kind of
which one
she's
it is, like
kind of entrenched at that.
right, yeah. So um yeah, because the next episode is something else, but yeah, this is the kind of the, she's kind of like, people hate her and all this stuff, and you're not leading us into greatness like you said you would, a lot of crap. And and then yeah, the whole sequence with the fight with Rook, and which was neat too. Like, I wonder, like, I wonder if my arm just broke here. Sort of, what's going on? I wonder too if they sort of had that sequence, like in season 7 of Clone Wars, where Ahsoka and Darth Maul were fighting. I just wonder if it's like, if there's like, if there was some sort of like CG stuff where they were actually doing the fights, because I know she's a stunt coordinator, she's
Martial
she's a
artist,
martial
yeah.
arts, so I wonder if her and the actor that plays Rook, uh, kind of. Although I think Rook is voiced by oh, what's his face there, little guy. He played he played Warwick Davis. I'm pretty sure Warwick Davis does his voice. Uh,
I'm not sure about that, but you right.
Yeah, I
I,
would say Ruck possibly is not motion capture, just because when we see him in
he does bounce
Rebels, there's a
around.
lot of
Yeah,
like animal movement,
yeah,
like where he's like climbing the walls and things like that. So
Uh, yes, it is Warwick Davis.
yeah. That's what I thought. But yeah, again, like now you're talking about it, he does bounce around like kind of what Yoda does when I don't know, like
yeah,
sort of whatever. So maybe it
yeah,
wasn't, but
jumping off stuff.
maybe she
But
had
for
a.
her, but for her aspect of combat, it could be,
I mean, it could have been, yeah. I know she probably had a lot to do with her choreography and the live action stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm.
but anyways, yeah, I thought the whole thing was super great. Like, and then at the end where it's just like half of his fleet comes in, and you're just like, some of that give you chills because when that happened, I'm actually, you know what? When I was talking to my buddy, we were watching it, and as soon as there was a couple times in that episode, I got chills, like literally goosebumps, and I'm pretty sure it was like when he started talking, and then when the fleet came in, like I don't know why, but it just happened, right? One of those
Yeah,
like
well, that was like
genuine feelings. You're like, oh, this is so cool. Like,
yeah, that was like the moment where it's like, okay, she wins, Empire's here to stay, and yeah,
yep, yep. So
it was a
for me,
moment,
this was a
a
great
moment.
episode. I love Thrawn stuff.
Mhm.
There's not much I can disagree with you on there. There was a lot of good stuff in this. Only thing kind of caught me off, like the idea that the TIE Defender. I'm nitpicking, but I just don't feel that. I understand it's her door. I understand it's
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. It feels like
yeah. It,
in
it
some
did
ways
seem a
like
little bit like
it
forced. Like this random Night Sister girl has plans for this amazing engineering development.
yeah.
I agree with that.
Um, take that out of it. There's nothing about this episode I don't like. Um, yeah, like I said, the whole fight sequence with her and oh my god, that was
Good.
amazing to watch. Loved every second of, because every time you looked at it and you thought Brooke was gonna sit there and just like kill her, and suddenly she's got a defense, and suddenly she's got him on the rope. Like, yeah, yeah, more of this. Just going.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then she pulls out the Beskar spear,
Yep.
and
Hmm.
I'm sorry, and
All good.
yeah,
Uh,
really
Andy
fun.
Elder was saying before he's dealing with some allergies and stuff. So if you hear him
Okay.
going quiet, it's because he's trying not to cough in his mic and all that kind of stuff.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's really all. I'm really excited.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't really have too much to add. You guys pretty much said everything I would have said about this episode. I would say I was less impressed by it than you guys perhaps, just because I don't know, that first one to me was everything. But yeah, I did definitely like those moments that you were talking about, Andy. I definitely felt you know, a great sense of something epic there, and the
Yeah.
the fight scene fantastic and stuff like that. So yeah,
Oh yeah, well, yeah,
I think
anytime we got add in on, excited for it. And
Yeah.
of
yeah.
character. Um,
Hmm.
so
Hmm. That's right.
leave that out. All right. Um.
Let me take that, I guess.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
If I don't mind, I don't. Thank you.
That's good. That's good.
All right. Tales. Okay, so episode 3, The Path of Hate. Our episode 3 reveals a far more desolate Corvus due to the years of Imperial factory work, looking far more like the planet does in the Mandalorian season 2, The Jedi. Continuing to work her people as slaves despite the Empire's fall, Morgan rejects the New Republic's offer to make Corvus a member planet and demands that she give up her station. Having already received her vision of the future and how to break through, Morgan and her assassin droids kill the New Republic's emissaries, with Elsbeth fully giving in to her hate. So a much different look. Like it said, it looks more like The Mandalorian season 2, where we see Ahsoka for the first time. It's neat to see some of those, characters, I guess, kind of similar to what we've seen in The Mandalorian. Some of them you see, like the main older guy there. I'm pretty sure he was in that episode with the Jedi as well. And yeah, just I don't know. To me, this episode wasn't as obviously as good as the Thrawn episode for me, but it still gave you a little bit of stuff as well, right? Including the end with what's her face, Bo-Katan. She talks at the end on that comm, right? So,
Yeah, and we got to see the what's it called, the HK droids kind of in action a bit more. So those
yeah,
were pretty cool. One thing that I thought felt a bit forced, kind of like the tie defender thing from the previous episode, was the burning of the trees. Like I get what
they
it
had to fit it in there.
symbolized. Yeah, I get what it symbolized, that she was fully giving in to her hate and all that, but it didn't really seem to serve that much purpose. It's not like the trees were helping people get away or something like
Yeah,
that.
but wasn't that they talked about the resources in the first episode? So maybe that was kind of like the resources in the planet a little bit. She's burning up all the resources. That's what
Okay,
I
okay.
got out of it.
Yeah, it just seemed like so out of nowhere for me. I'm like, we knew that the trees were burnt when we seen it in the
Yeah,
Mandalorian, and
yeah,
then we're like, okay, they're bridging the gap, but with no real
yeah,
explanation. It's just like, burn them all.
yeah. I
Okay.
get that. Yeah,
But it did kind of feel like they were trying to recreate also similarity to that scene in Lord of the Rings where Saruman, like, he's getting them to burn all the trees, the orcs and stuff. So, maybe they're trying to draw inspiration from that a little bit.
or maybe we just wanted to see stormtroopers with or whoever they were. I can't remember if stormtroopers,
Flame
but
troopers,
flame
maybe.
troopers just flaming
Yeah,
trees. Like I don't know,
yeah.
just
Yeah. It's a fun visual. Everybody
fun
likes
visual.
burning
Yeah,
stuff. it's,
yeah,
it's for the pyros.
yeah. For the pyros. Yeah, it was to get the pyros going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it was how they took down. They pretty much, yeah, they just went in. They went.
Mhm.
I was watching that part and I was like, hey,
Well,
I could see that. That's
you, like the New Republic now, or in that era, like they don't seem to have, like the Rebellion. The Rebellion had a bunch of fighters. Like it just seems
Mhm.
like the New Republic, they're just like a policing force that don't really have a lot of like. They have resources, but they don't have a lot of like, I don't know, people that have
Reputation or
skills or
clout or
reputation,
anything
or I don't
too.
know. Like they just seem
Like it
like
seemed like they were
police
showing up like,
officers. Like
yeah,
well,
it seemed like they were showing up like all like, oh yeah, we're the
we're
Republic,
the
and
Republic.
then they're just like, so,
Yeah,
but
with these little guns, and
and
like we're the Republic.
yeah, they're dressed all like cleanly and everything. Morgan's
but
just like,
I
yeah,
think it
no,
properly was difference at the end of
that's
the
true.
day. When Mon Mothma was obviously didn't want there, didn't want to wanted plan. She wanted to disarm. She was afraid that was the problem. That was the reason the Empire was able to take over. They armed themselves so much. Someone with power came in. He was able to snap his finger. That was it. And
Mhm.
she figured, if I take that away, it can't happen again. I understand the logic. The problem was she made the Republic so and that there was really no way for the public to be prepared for whatever was coming their way.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example. When she was with the Alliance, she knew she had to build up her powers, fight that power back.
Yeah.
See the this was the Rebel Alliance. I think you have a fight on your hands. But now that it's just public, people probably weren't trained as well. We're just trying to bring everybody together.
Yeah.
Let's
It's like they're in a rebuilding phase. Rebuild
Yeah.
and rebuild the army or whatever they had, and it's taken a lot longer to do.
Yeah, they didn't
because
have
it's hard to
the.
find.
But let's make it
They-
more about everybody caring about each other, loving each other.
Yeah, kumbaya. The only
Rather
thing that was
than-
missing was guitars when they showed up. Hey, you want to join
Yeah.
a party?
Yeah, they didn't look. They definitely didn't look like warriors. That's for sure.
So,
Just,
I
yeah.
mean, like I said, had it been the Rebel Alliance at that point come in and you're at that stage, you would have seen
Actually, you know what?
hardened fighters at that point.
You know what it kind of reminded me of too is when in the Ahsoka show when Balin and Shin go to that the prison thing, and there's like all these Republic guards there, and they're like holding up their blasters, and they look so pathetic, and then
Dorky.
yeah, and then Balin just comes in there. He's like, "You're right, we're not Jedi." That's what it reminded me of.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah.
look at their outfits. Okay, like
Yeah.
this is one of the things that when me and my buddy were watching, like the end, that spaceship, I'm like, this spaceship looks like a big whale. Like, what is this thing? Like, it looks horrible. And then like it's just their costumes are like, or their uniforms are just like I said,
Yeah.
it looks like Coruscant Coruscant police officer there
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Trudeau, like Cup.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they all look like. Look like Coruscant police officers.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just I don't know.
And some
Not
of
a
those
good
guys are back,
phase for me. I don't like them.
not for nothing. Some of those guys are back to wearing some of those. Like at the beginning of the very first Star Wars.
Yeah, when
the
they're
Empire comes
fighting
in,
in the
the Empire
hallway
comes in,
there.
just beats the snot out of those.
Yeah,
It's like
Yeah,
you've got them. You've got
Yeah,
them.
it's like it's just a different color, but the costumes look the same. Like
It's like you've got all these
Yeah.
stormtroopers at a choke point. All you gotta do is shoot into the hole and you kill everyone. And they couldn't.
they can't even
do
hit
it.
you because they're stormtroopers. Like they don't hit well with their thing.
And that
You still can't do
in that scene they do. In that scene they light them up.
Yeah,
the only scene ever in any Star Wars
Yeah.
film.
but
Yeah.
stormtroopers were effective.
Yeah, I remember when I was rewatching that, I'm like, whoa, these stormtroopers can hit stuff. Let's go.
Well, maybe they were only effective when Darth Vader was around because he probably
Yeah.
like was using his force to push the
Oh, yeah, there
blasters
you
towards
go.
him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, I know the troopers suck. I'll help them.
They
Yeah,
had
as he's walking.
the aim assist.
Yeah, the aim assist. They click the aim assist on.
Yeah.
Or it'd be like in that very first level, Star Wars, walking
Yeah.
through. Wait, you're not shooting. Wait, you missed that? Picks up the stormtrooper, just throws him at the guy or something.
Yeah.
It's like you'll be effective
Yeah.
one way or another.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, great video game scene. That first scene in Force Unleashed definitely gets you hooked.
Yeah. Well, those games are great.
Yeah.
Am I going? I don't know. But moving on from here.
You gotta move on.
Yeah, kind of.
That's all right. Yeah. I think we'll be all right. Just don't think about the time. Let's just keep talking. Go.
All right, so who wants to take on episode
I'll do that one. So, um, yeah, the final 3 episodes are about Barriss, the rogue Jedi who was incarcerated after bombing the Jedi Temple at the end of Clone Wars Season 5. Barriss had become disillusioned by the Jedi Order. As such, the Tales of the Empire Season 4 sees Offie feeling the countless Jedi deaths during Order 66 from her cell in Coruscant. The next day, Barriss is recruited into the Imperial Inquisitorius, tested and trained by the Grand Inquisitor as she devotes herself to their dark ranks and the service of Darth Vader himself. Yeah, pretty. To me, this was the most awesome episode of the Barriss 3 episodes. Personally,
Yeah,
it
I agree
was.
too.
It first of all bridged that gap of what I wanted to know, like what happened between her being a traitor to the Jedi and being imprisoned and becoming potentially, or what happens to her after that, essentially. And yeah, it kind of fills that gap. And then also to the actual Inquisitorious stuff, I found that very, very interesting and visually appealing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, to me, just having stuff being done during the Order 66 stuff, and then you're kind of like in her shoes for a second when she's looking out that cell window, right?
Mm,
She's looking at the Jedi Temple, and like everything's
mhm,
going down, right? And you're just like,
mhm.
oh man, this is so cool just to see that again. I know it's from far distance.
From
It's
a
just
different perspective,
from a
right?
different perspective, right? Like
Yeah.
it's one of those, did she do the she's like I feel like she's like, did she do the right thing? Like everything's like she's like, oh man, she and like she feels all of the Jedi being taken out or whatever it was. Um and yeah, like I don't know. And okay, so then like to see I didn't put two and two together when I was watching it. Only came after, but Lynn, so the fourth sister, who was in Obi-Wan, I was like, oh okay, she was in the last, and then now they took her, put her in the whatever. So I thought that was super. I thought it was cool to bring her in, and then when when they first, again, the Inquisitorius whatever
Inquisitorious.
Inquisitorius temple, or the place where they, in like an Obi-Wan, it was full and done. It was a few years after or whatever, but seeing the first stages of kind of them building that facility, that was pretty neat too. Um, or unless I'm going to the second one. Am I?
No,
Am
no,
I?
no, no,
Am I
no,
like?
no.
Um,
You're right.
because I feel like it's like, anyways.
I
So, but
remember.
anyways, to see that was pretty cool. Oh no, because they bring her to train her there and all this stuff.
Yeah, in the second one, she already has the armor,
She
it
already, yeah, they go
says.
on an adventure. Okay, or not an
Yeah.
adventure, on a mission. An
Mhm.
adventure. Uh, Harris is, yeah. So she's recruited after she kills one of her, I don't know, former Jedi, or I don't know, any, like they were one of some of
Her
the other
buddy.
rogue Jedi's, her buddy that she knew from the training of the Jedi or whatever. Anyways, so it was neat to see the sequences and see how they, sort of, seeing the Grand Inquisitor himself again. Is he again, to me? I don't know why it's interesting, but I'm like, who voiced him? Is it the same
Jason,
guy? Okay, so Jason. Okay, so they did bring him back to do that voice. Um, because I was thinking, oh, did they use the guy from the live action? Oh,
they
or
went with.
whatever. I guess I could have looked all this up. There is the internet. I could have looked it up. I guess I just didn't have time to look it up. But that kind of stuff interests me. But to see that was pretty cool. But the huge thing, and I talked about the whole goosebump thing that happened. So when Darth Vader shows up again, it was one of those,
Mhm.
like, just me and my buddy were just like, he said it before me, and he's like, "I got goosebumps." I'm like, "Man, I got goosebumps too. This is nuts." It was so cool.
Did you
Like there
guys like
was,
rub your goosebumps together?
oh man. Well, I was like, look at the goosebumps. Um, but
Yeah,
it was
awesome.
just one of those, again, genuine reactions or emotions. You're just like, I don't know why it's happening. I mean, I love Darth Vader stuff. Anything Darth Vader is just it just to have that, and he didn't say anything. Like you just walked in and sat down, and I'm just like, ah, man, so cool. Like Darth
Yeah,
Vader,
the
we're not worthy.
in Rebels when they describe like the feeling of Darth Vader being present for them
President, that'd be
is
great.
oh, I think he's well above president. But 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 yeah, they describe it as being cold, and then like for us the viewers, it also gives us chills. So I always thought that was kind of
It's a
neat.
neat, yeah, it is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like you said, it was like this episode is probably the best out of the three, in
Mhm.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much, yeah, like gapping being bridged with some of the stuff and like in a couple series, like Obi-Wan, and then
Mhm.
even though it doesn't really bridge, it's more like the surroundings that is bridging with Obi-Wan and stuff, like a side character and all this stuff doesn't necessarily do
Mhm.
anything with Barris, but there's just some like nice connections in that first episode. So
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like I have more to say about it, but I'll wait till we get into further episodes here.
Things that I wanted, I did work. I looked it up. The one thing I did love also, they flew there, and you interesting areas come. Yes, I did.
yes, Fortress Inquisitors. Okay, yeah. I was
um,
trying to sound more smart with, but it didn't happen.
um,
It was a try. Good
Yeah,
try.
good try, good try.
but it was awesome to see that already happening. But at the same time,
Yeah, yeah.
it also makes me wonder. Now, this just happened. Here we are, day after Order 60. Already have Inquisitors around. Building is already going. Now I'm more interested.
Right.
Have these people that were,
Mhm.
and they were already being trained in the Grand Inquisition. Part of it is I'm curious about the Grand Inquisitor. Was the Grand Inquisitor supposed to? I mean, at the fort, it makes me wonder how. Where he was the temple now? How did these things?
Yeah. Yeah, it does leave a little bit up to the imagination for as far as that goes, doesn't it?
Well, I think there's like, again, they're leaving things. I mean, to your imagination, but I mean,
I hope.
potential story somewhere else. Like I feel like they're kind of like trying to. There's a season 2 of the Empire.
and
Maybe,
and that might come, and that's why I'm saying.
yeah,
But it's like now you're presenting more ideas that I want to. I'm
yeah.
curious
Yeah.
Well,
about.
yeah. It's making your brain go.
Yeah.
For
Um.
me, what I picture is like at the Jedi Temple, Grand Inquisitor is like the last Jedi, like holding down like the defenses, and Darth Vader approaches him and sort of bends him to his will. But I could be wrong. It's all just theory.
Yeah. But at the same time, now you have someone like Lynn. She's already an Inquisitor.
Yeah,
Already
right.
has her outfit and everything.
Mhm.
How long has she been?
As well as another
Like
handful,
two,
right? It
like
shows
you
like
said,
three or
it's a
four.
day after Order 66 went down. So I mean,
Hmm.
like they've already had this in plan, in motion. The Inquisitors, right? Like it's
Yeah.
already
So
been going.
some of these Inquisitors, how long have they been in? How long has
Right.
How long have they been building
Mhm.
and has this building up and have training their own? Just a lot of questions. Um,
Mhm.
not again, not from the sense of being negative and how is this happening. I don't know how this happened. Give me
Yeah.
a story of how this happened. I want to.
Right.
Yeah.
But also too, I mentioned this before when we were talking about Mount Tantus shown in the Bad Batch. We do see a lot of like extremely large infrastructure that's involved with the Empire that just seems to happen in a very short period of time.
Yeah,
So
but moving on from there, this idea of Varys being trained by the Grand Inquisitor, I like the idea. Very cool
Well,
training him become.
yeah.
It felt like it didn't take much time at all for. It, I don't feel like they. I never felt like there was a pull of Varys into at the end. I mean, yeah, got her a little angry so she could fight back. Might have tapped into a little bit of anger, but
mhm.
I never got that you would have gotten out of like Anakin at the end when
Right.
he was pulled to or when
Well,
I've
one thing about that, yeah, like I said, I do have more that I want to say about as we go into the later episodes. But one thing about that is the reason she's in prison is because she already gave in to her dark side, right? Before this story even happened
but
in the
yet
Clone Wars.
but yet here I don't feel that. I don't feel
Right.
that rage. I don't
Right.
feel
Yeah.
I
Like I
don't
said, I do got more to say about it once we get into the
I don't
later
see those
episodes.
I don't see those yellow dark side eyes.
Right.
It's like everything that happened with her to get her, oh, the action rather than I think
Yeah.
um
Well, I think we do know too that all the Inquisitors were forced into service, not chosen.
but but some of them were you could see where the person that Barris was fighting tapped into his dark side. He was tapped there. He was more than happy to go after that late to kill Barris. Barris was reacting and doing her own.
Yeah. It's a little different. Yeah.
So in that sense, I never truly felt that Barris had Barris. I think she just kind of realized if I don't play along right now, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Well, I think that falls back to where I don't feel like she really wanted to be a dark side, or she never really fully would go that way. I mean, she never she had problems with the Jedi, right? She like the Jedi way or the Jedi Council or whatever it was. So it was it was more of a you guys aren't doing the right thing. But I don't think she truly was like a dark side person. Like she just didn't.
Right, I thought she
Uh,
was a dark side person, but she,
well, you think, right? And
yeah.
that's kind of like how they were kind of make it play out. But it's yeah, she was more of she didn't feel like the Jedi were doing the right thing, or she was on the wrong side, and then
Right,
she
but as a
realized,
result of that, she tried to kill thousands of them, right? Rather than,
right.
just running away from it. So I feel like that is very dark side
So yeah, it's a bad thing, obviously.
choice right
Like
there.
I think it's a path towards that, but I guess she didn't fully go that way, right? Like she kind of like where they're like, oh, once you're on the path of the dark side, it's hard to pull yourself back.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
think
what I'm saying is if Ahsoka didn't stop her in the Clone Wars, then,
she might have went full.
she
Well, she might have
murdered
went full.
thousands of Jedi, right?
Yeah, I mean, she might have went
So,
full. I get it,
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, it doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't. I don't know. And then again,
But
Yeah.
we have
but
a couple episodes
also,
after
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
where
Like her
she,
struggle with becoming Darkseid or whatever
Yeah.
is more revealed in the next two
well,
episodes too.
But
especially the next episode for sure, right? So
Yeah.
but that's the other side. Vader comes.
Hmm.
If anybody's going to right in
I I would say yeah, I would agree in a
I would
sense because
say
I think
Vader probably feels like everybody is less dark than him because they are.
yeah, but
but
he had
but
so much hate flowing through
Yeah.
him, like because you can see like he struggles with memories and the hate stuff and like he's just all over the place. So I feel
Mhm.
like I don't think in that moment he probably didn't. There was something else going on in his brain that didn't. Nothing came up that was Barris, and I get it. Like there's he knows who she is, but like he's trying to flush out who he was.
Mhm.
Anakin's dead.
Anakin's
He's
dead.
he's
Yeah.
done. Like
but I also felt like that was an that was a
Yeah, because the two of
you
them
walk into
do
this
spend
room.
a bunch of time together, right, in the Clone Wars.
well they
Not
did,
just
yeah.
not just that.
Yeah.
Watch these two fight each other at the end of that episode. See how angry because of the fact that Vader. So I'm not saying we have Anakin person. Here's Vader, powerful, and here's Barris, just now, quote unquote, embracing. And I'm thinking if I'm Vader and I'm like I'm thinking I can make it her right now. I could sit there. I could just pick her up in a forced choke. Really show the room that serve me now. Not saying you got to kill her, and then just
I
drop
would
her.
I would imagine as he walks into the room, he understands that she's the most powerful of these, or potentially one of the more powerful of these young Inquisitorius. So
And,
probably,
and yet, it's an opportunity to say she's more powerful than all of you in the room, and she's nothing.
fair.
and
It's fair.
and be ready for. And you almost feel like something like that needed,
Yeah, missed
and it
opportunity
just
there for
yes.
sure.
I don't know. Maybe a small one.
I mean, I'm not saying you had to go all out and kill her.
No, I yeah.
So just a little something to just sit there and say, you know who you serve now.
It was also neat to see the other two Inquisitors that were there. Was the one from the Ahsoka Tales of the Jedi one there,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
what,
Amarok.
Merrick.
Yeah.
Merrick.
everyone's favorite
Eric.
knight.
Everybody's favorite Knight brother that died.
Yeah, and well, now we know he's not just the Night Sister fart. He's actually
He's
a
actually
person
somebody.
at some point before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe can.
Yeah.
um,
All right.
but yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to tend to pull to the negative, but there were just a couple of there that just
Yeah. Yeah,
didn't
there's
sit
definitely
right.
more that I want to say about it once we get through the other episodes for sure.
But yeah, let's move on to the
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
take
because we spent a lot of time on that episode for sure.
I'll take on episode.
All right.
Okay. I'll be right back though, guys.
Yep,
Real
Yep.
quick.
called Realization. Having become an official Imperial Inquisitor with new armor and her own revolver, Varys joins Master on a mission reported Jedi sighting in episode 5. Conflicted by the painful struggles experienced by citizens of the Empire, Barris soon realized the Empire's order true. To that end, the eventual discovery of the Jedi survivor, a critical pivot for Barrisoff regarding her own. If we go any further, that was the other. That was the one last thing I forgot. I also kind of got me wrong. What's her designation?
Right. Yeah.
Never got it.
Yeah. What is she? Yeah, I get you. Because it says like throughout this like the fourth sister.
And we know
What
Lynn
are
is
you?
the fourth sister. Like we
Right.
know third
Like, what are
brother.
you?
We know the second sister.
We know the fifth brother. We know,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For all we know, Barris could be the 17th.
Well, but I mean, like if you look at like that last scene when they're in the thing, like are those guys the first? Like is this is the one that was in the Ahsoka one? Is that the first brother, and is Merrick the second brother? And like is this the fourth sister? Like is she the third sister, or is
Yeah.
there a third sister? Because there was a second sister, right? We know the second sister. And the seventh sister. There was the fourth sister. Like, is she the third sister? Like, I get that. Like, they didn't give her a title or a designation.
It's like, like I would have liked to have known, because yeah, you just.
Yeah, Swamp. We're talking about the how Barris never got her designation, or how there's the fourth
Oh, the
sister's Lynn,
numbers.
so
Yeah,
she never
yeah.
got her. They never told us who she is. So going off of that last scene from the last episode, there was 4 of them in the room. Like, is that the first brother and the second brother and the third sister is Barris and the fourth sister's Lynn? Like, is that how that works? Like, are they the first 4?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, it is kind of hard to know. Like, did they call Lynn fourth sister during it? I can't remember.
They did not, but you knew that
Okay,
going in
so
from other things.
right. But yeah, I'm just wondering if maybe like none of them have really been numbered yet at this point, maybe.
but but it says in this, like the summary that I'm reading off Wikipedia, it says fourth sister. So they had to have given
Yeah,
her.
it does mention it in that, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that it calls her fourth sister in the show.
Like, I don't remember, like, because when they're like, I don't remember how the episode starts. Like, are they in the space? Like, are they in space already flying, or do they start off at the at their base and then they fly off? I can't remember.
Yeah, it does show for the plot summary, it does say Barris and fourth sister are journeying through hyperspace, so I feel like it maybe does start on the
I don't think
ship.
I don't think they were.
Okay. Yep. I was just trying to think if there was like one small scene with the Grand Inquisitor and he says something fourth sister or whatever it is, but maybe not.
No, we don't see the again.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, unless in the first episode we missed where he said something in that last scene with
Yeah, I don't feel that.
remember.
I don't feel like I remember them really going into the numbers because, like, when I started reading the stuff putting together our prep for the episode today, that was kind of the first time I seen them call her fourth sister rather than Lynn.
Right.
Because I feel like that's all they call her in the show, as far as I recall.
Well,
Is
I mean,
Lynn.
in the first episode too, like Barris would say Lynn, Lynn
Mm-hmm.
or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is, and Lynn kept saying, "Don't call me that. That's not
Oh,
right."
okay. Yeah,
Right.
that's
So I
true.
don't know, but I
True.
don't think they really said, or she really said, "I'm the fourth sister." Like
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was more of an implication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
So anyway, back to the episode.
yeah. We keep going back to that one.
Yeah. Um, I think this is where it's started going downhill.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me
I,
too.
I was kind of underwhelmed by how. I mean, given this is the way I'm going to answer. We kept pushing that about what happened to Bear. They said, "Okay, here you go. Now, you might not like it, but here you go." um, First episode we got kind of got what we wanted. We knew.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I don't feel like this played out the way. Part of me saw her actually bending down to the potential. Fortunately,
not
that
going
never happened.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of played into all my worries from first episode, that she just hadn't had that pull yet.
Right.
And suddenly here they are, of a Jedi survivor, wins out to kill him, all but defeated, and here's Barris, and Barris is trying to pull him to surrender rather than die, and Lynn doesn't care. He's like killing him.
And everybody else.
Yeah,
Well, that yeah, like if you go before that, when they get on the planet, you lied to me, and she just decimates everybody in there. Like, and
Yeah.
Barris is like, "What did you do?" Like,
She's like, this is our
she's like, "I
job.
don't care. This is our job."
Yeah.
and you could definitely see the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, at that point, I knew we weren't going down that path.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this is kind of where I started to realize that they decided to make her kind of similar to the way I didn't like the later part of the Ahsoka story arc, where like, we have this image of a great warrior who's like well beyond her years as far as skill, talent, intelligence, all these things, and then they just turn her into a more humanized version of the character, where it's like, oh, I don't like the fighting, I don't like the this, I don't like the that. I never really liked that about Ahsoka, and it seems like they kind of went the same route with Barris, trying to make them both very humanized and like trying to, I don't know, show more like regret about the bad things and all that kind of stuff. And I agree. I did not want to see it go that way, but it is what it is.
I would have rather have seen something it, where she went and maybe she did fight, and rather than maybe Ahsoka back or something like, I don't know. I, I would rather maybe kind of like just go. I mean, I don't really like. We don't even know. We have no idea. Arrived, happened. Yeah, I mean, Finn lived up to her end of the bargain. Barris did. My eyes.
Well,
Probably, this was
Barris
probably one of my least favorite of.
Barris got a helmet though. Yeah.
I didn't like the helmet.
And she wasn't wearing it half the time. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
put your darn helmet on. Like, what are you doing? Like, people are gonna know who you are. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Put it
Yeah.
on. Stop carrying it
Yeah.
like a clone trooper.
Yeah. Or like one blaster bolt from the side, you're gone too, right? Without that helmet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should move on to episode 6, The Way Out, because
Again, sorry to bring the
we
negative to it.
kind
It's
of.
just
And
Oh no,
well, I
I
mean,
feel the exact same thing, but again, I have more to say once we get through all of it, because
yeah.
it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like episode 5 and 6 are kind of like immediate. It's immediately after, isn't it? Oh, never mind. It says years have passed.
yeah, no. You can tell Varys is a lot older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Oh
She
yeah.
has the wrinkled face. Yeah, that's right.
She's got the wrinkle face, the crow's eyes
Yeah,
there. They're the
yeah,
crow's feet.
that's true.
All right. I'll do this one.
Okay.
All right, episode 6, The Way Out. In Tales of the Empire, episode 6. Years have passed since Barris left the ranks of the Inquisitorius. I got it. While still taking place during the Dark Times. Known as a healing woman, Barris aids two parents fleeing the Empire with their Force-sensitive child. Pursued by the fourth sister, Barris faces the Inquisitor once more, though she makes a point to call her by her real name, Lynn Rakish. Buying the family time to escape using nearby ice caves, Afi also attempts to help Lynn find the way out from the dark side, just as she did. Yeah, this episode was kind of weird in the sense that the whole, I don't know, like where she was and those ice caves, like to me it felt like was this like sort of part of a Jedi temple that she found, and then like I don't know, or maybe they were just ice caves, but like it kind of had that sort of feeling where like you're in those Jedi temples, they mess up with your mind, and you know, like when a Sith goes into a Jedi temple, it kind of plays with you, and vice versa. Um, I don't know. I wasn't, and then the ending, you're like, what is she alive? Is she dead? I don't know what's going. I know her breath went away when Lynn picked her up at the end. I know I'm jumping to the end of the episode for some reason, but this is the only thing that kind of stuck out to me because, to be honest, this episode was kind of not my favorite out of the three, and I know, I don't know, like it was kind of weird for me. Like she's a healing woman now, okay, I get it, and that, but I mean, like how many years have passed, right? And like she
Right.
seems a lot more stronger,
Yeah.
more stronger than she was before, right? Because she
Yeah.
was just doing that when she was fighting. She didn't even have a lightsaber.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, okay.
I'm gonna say that's possibly the more positive. Whereas,
I just want to know how many years, like how many years have passed. Like
well,
they're saying
it's
the
still during
the dark times. What's the dark times? What's the dark
up
times
until
The Empire, the
of the Empire?
the shadow of the Empire, I would imagine.
yeah, once Dark Times end with Palpatine.
Okay, so I go okay.
But for
But
me, the ice cave was the device that they were using to try to show that good is better than bad. If you go in here and you have the light side, you can navigate the ice cave. If you're dark side, you can't. And it just felt weird
Yeah,
to me.
it's one of those trick things. So was it
Yeah.
a Jedi temple? Like, you know, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little all over the place
well,
with it, I guess. But it's just
well, I guess my way I'm gonna go. It remind that the ice caves. Don't get me wrong, anywhere. That being said, I equated it to the little cave on Dagobah. Saying dark side is that.
yeah.
And when Luke asks what's in there, only what you take with you. And I can understand that perspective. But they really I said the one positive for me like that Ferris, who had obviously would be more popular. She's basically kind of Yoda fight. I mean, she's
Yeah.
not using a lightsaber, focusing, probably meditating for her powers,
Healing. Yeah.
and I could see where she would be at a point where and start attacking her, and the way Vader played with his Riva attacked him in the Obi-Wan scene. Let's face facts. A lot of us were not happy with the Obi-Wan. There's no one I know who did not love that moment when she started attacking him with that double-bladed lightsaber, and he just basically made her look like a damn fool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of got
Yeah.
that's the vibe I got
Yeah. It's
with
true.
Lynn fighting Ferris.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I leave that as my one big pop I pull out of the. That being said,
So,
I
so
don't
one
think we should
thing
have been
that
there.
that we kind of didn't mention too yet is at the end. It seems that Barris, like you said, Andy, she probably does pass. It kind of shows like a little. She loses her breath. We, I guess, assume that she's gone. But we also see that Lynn does find her way out from the dark side and sort of leaning towards the light side. But then that doesn't make sense because, well, I don't know. It kind of does make sense because we don't see her in Rebels with the other Inquisitors, but we also eventually do see her in Obi-Wan. So it's kind of mixed future for her.
Well, no, this is like
Amen. We're
like
probably
past that. It's way
probably
past all
Oh,
that.
probably
this is
somewhere.
past that.
This
Yeah.
is probably somewhere between Fire Strikes Back and Jedi.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I see. I see.
Um,
Because yeah, that was something I thought was weird. I'm like, okay, we don't see her in Rebels, right? So maybe she does turn to the light side. But if that's before this, then yeah,
Like Obi-Wan,
it's not important.
was during the dark times. And this seems like you said, like this is when the dark times end. It's like when
Oh, this is during the dark times because
I know, but it seems like it's
like they're still
further
hunting
on.
the young Jedi, right?
Yeah, but
Like
I think
that's
like
I
this
think
is
this is
after.
like I think this is as that is happening in Rebels where they're looking for the young Jedi. Like where the fifth brother and seventh sister are searching around looking for the baby Jedis and stuff.
yeah,
Right.
From the way I take it anyways.
Yeah, but I still think it's after Obi-Wan because like Lynn
Yeah,
is
it could
in
be after
Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan. Yeah,
and
that's
she's
true.
still like part of that
Yeah. Yeah.
Inquisitorious. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah.
The inks.
The the inks, yeah. The inks, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that whole sequence, like at the end in the caves, and then they come out, and then there's a little thing here where it says outside the cave, the rodent notices Lynn carrying Offie out of the cave. I'm like, what does the rodent have to do with any like that little it just like focuses on the rodent, the little rat at the end, while they're
Yeah.
walking out in the back, and you're like, is she what's going on? And then it's just like hello, like what's going on? Maybe you
Yeah.
guys picked up something that I didn't, but
I did not.
now,
I don't know what that meant.
now,
It did seem like they were trying to give us some kind of message, but I have no idea what it
Like
was.
is Barris the rat now? I don't know what does that
Oh,
mean.
maybe that's what they're trying
Like
to
is she
say.
did she
Maybe.
transfer her? I don't know what's going on. Like, anyways,
Oh, maybe you're saying like maybe she's like um you know how uh freaking Kanan becomes Caleb Dune with the
yeah,
wolf and stuff,
maybe.
kind of
Yeah.
that type of thing,
Like, why
maybe.
would you pick a rodent? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. I think it was definitely a kind of a silly episode. I thought, to be honest.
Yeah. I thought they were just trying to push that human element again, just like the second episode where it's just like, good versus bad, and yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't love it.
like I said, it's like end of the day, they came out and said, "You what happened to Barris? Careful what
Yeah,
that's
I get
Yeah.
what I got."
Yep.
Yeah. It's fair.
So
It's fair.
all in all, is there anything else we want to talk about it? But for like all in all, for me, like it seemed like where they section them off, the stories seem to start strong, and then kind of like, well, definitely with the Bears one, started strong and then kind of went pew.
Yeah, I
Well,
feel like they gave you. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
no,
Yeah,
right ahead.
go for it.
I feel like they gave me what I want as far as filling the gaps,
Yeah.
but they filled it with
The force gap.
stuff that
filler.
I care about less than I thought I would.
We got a lot of forced filler.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
think
So that's how I feel.
at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, not upset with what I watch
No.
because again, gaps. Did I need a Morgan Elsbeth gap to be? Maybe not.
No.
Um. Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna go Tales of the Empire, there's so many other people in the Empire that you could have told stories about that I would have been much more pointed out.
But it's true though too, because we just got finished watching Morgan Elsbeth and Thrawn stuff. And don't get me wrong, I like Thrawn, loved it. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, there probably was a whole bunch of other stuff we could have probably watched, but it was like, yeah, we just finished with the Thrawn stuff. Oh,
And,
here's some more Thrawn stuff.
and
Okay,
we got
like,
One,
we also got more Thrawn stuff coming. So
yeah, that's
it's
it.
not
Right?
like we're gonna lose story here.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
I
well,
get,
one
I get
thing
that.
to that effect is like her character did die, and the actress is not getting any younger. Maybe they just wanted to kind of, get her in there before it's too late.
Yeah, right.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's a possibility. I'm not gonna. Like I said, I don't. I don't hate that it happened, but there are other Imperial figures I would have gone for. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
In general, yeah, I hope they make more of these. I mean, because there, there's there's stories out there I want to know, and this is a good. It's a fun way to take one day of the year and we can start using Star Wars. It's a nice. It's done in a great way. It's broken down into an hour and a half. I could just, almost like sitting down, grab some popcorn, watching 6 episodes, but it's actually like watching them. It's a lot of fun at the end of the day. And I'm really, really looking for the next Tales of the Jedi that comes. Hey, I mean, hear what you want. I really like the stories that they covered in first Tales of the especially the Dooku's loved the Dooku.
Yep.
Well, I think the Ahsoka stuff was awesome too. It's just like that one felt almost too short. Like we wanted more.
Well,
Whereas this one, I feel like they went through more than enough. I'm good with it.
but at the same time, when it comes, you have a series coming out
Yeah,
at
true.
that point. So
Yeah.
how much more do you want to tell before telling this big story about her? So
Yeah.
I was okay
Plus,
with what
she
I
is.
got.
Yeah. Plus, she is very much, pretty much the main character of the Clone Wars series, I would say. So we get a lot of story development with her.
Yeah. Well,
It was
yeah,
just
exactly. Yeah.
a lot building.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, going into the future, I mean, whatever Jedi we're going, I'm thinking of just the Jedi that we. I'm thinking stories of a younger Qui-Gon, a young between before he pick him up back of the maybe a story of a younger Obi-Wan uh, old Yoda story. My God, where where in that 700 years do you want to be around?
Mhm.
That sounds exciting to me. There's just so
Yeah, there's so much. Like even young Mace, Kiadi Mundi would be an interesting story to me because I don't know a lot of his backstory, and
yeah,
lots of interesting characters they could do
yeah,
stuff with.
yeah, it works. I hope it reach out and everything. Bounty
Mhm.
Hunters, Tales of the Rebel Alliance, Tales of
Tales
the
This
of
is
the
Old
where I think they're
Republic,
Jawas.
going.
Tales
This
of the
is
Old
this is
Republic.
they've got so much. They've got so much room here to build this Tales of whatever
Hmm. Hmm.
franchise that they got going on here. Like there's so much potential I think that they can do with this to kind of bridge so much stories. You know what I mean? So
Tales of the Gonk Droids.
and that'll be your favorite. See this
Uh,
one gonk
or
droid
maybe
that
not
just
specifically
rises
Gonk
above
Droids,
all
but
the
they
other
could
gonk
do
droids and
Tales of the Droids, and that is a pretty massive world
it is
of
though.
comedy.
and
It
and
is.
and the beauty of what they did here was all of the with the Tales of the. But I mean, somehow without having to technically,
Right.
so
Mhm.
it still opens up that door to give me some stories about Vader going on a rampage during this period where we see real Vader at work. Oh my God, yeah. Make it,
Myself,
The
I would
make
not
it.
like to see that as Tales of a Jedi. I think that needs to be a full motion picture,
that would be
big
the
screen
first
movie.
rated R Star Wars movie. That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah.
But but you imagine some of the smaller stories of make it full 6 episode Vader Tales of sit down for an hour and a half and just watch him Pacific Jet
Yep.
Yeah,
and
the
tell me
only
you
reason
wouldn't be
I
excited for
say
that.
I wouldn't want to see it as Tales of the Jedi is because it is so small and it's not 6 episodes, it's 3 episodes per story and it's very short stories, right?
Well,
So,
no, but
unless they
Tales of,
changed the format,
but
of
that's what I mean.
course.
Make one special time Tales of the Sith Darth Vader edition, and he goes on the hunt, and
Tales of the Vader.
and I
Tales
will
of Vader.
it will be by far the most popular episode of any of them that ever
Okay,
comes
well,
out.
here's a contradiction to that. What if they did Tales of the Revan? 3 light side, 3 dark side. Boom.
Nope, nope.
Nope.
No. I'm. Don't, let me clarify. Yes, very much. Yes, I want to see that.
Yep, but nope.
But no, I think you give me the option of 3 of those and 3 light and 3 dark for Revan, and a chance to watch 6 episodes of Vader hunting Jedi, seeing the real ruthless Vader that we really want all our lives since we were 4 years old when we knew what Vader was really. You're gonna tell me people will pick Revan over Vader? Oh no.
I just I
I
just
wouldn't.
can't
Yeah.
see them doing that. It would just go so much against the format of what the tales are, right? Like it's completely opposite of what they're meant to be. So I can't see it.
That I
I
don't
can't
know.
see I can't see them breaking the format of short stories to go into epic stories. It would be, yeah, just not what it's about.
That's why I think 6 episodes Vader hunting just get to watch the way you want to see the Vader be dark side crushing. Oh, I think it would. I think it would be.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah.
Which is what I'm saying though too, right? Like it's too big for the Tales, is what I'm saying. Like, to me, Tales is like meant to be short stories. You know, they kind of have it set as what these entail.
That's the thing.
uh
Each one of these fights is technically a story. Not like we're going.
yeah. Yeah, but a short story about the main story that is the big picture, right? Like, we haven't had any yet that are
Jedi Purge is
specifically.
Jedi Purge is a major story.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The other ones are based on like sort of sub stories rather than the main story.
Guess we'll just.
It's fair. It's fair.
That's what we're here for. Everybody's got their own opinion, okay?
Like,
I'd like to see all of it.
okay, let me give a contrast of that. What if they did like Tales of the Jedi and then it was 6 episodes about Luke Skywalker? Right? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense as far as what Tales is, I think.
Tales of the New
Well,
Jedi Order.
I think the difference there is I don't know where you would unless you're like unless you have Luke like go around and finding the guy.
Well, there's a massive amount of
I think
his
there's a
story that we miss out on in the films, right? But
absolutely, and I think you could break those down into. I mean, yeah, bring him to him in animation, bring in Mark Hamill to voice him, and it could be interesting. It could be very interesting. I don't think that would hit the scene.
I'm just saying both are as unlikely to happen as one another because I feel like it goes against it,
That's
against the format.
I'm
Personally,
not saying it's likely to happen. It's too good of an idea. Disney isn't going to make that happen.
They're not going to give us what we want.
Yeah,
Hello.
let's face facts.
Disney.
But it's too good of an idea not to happen. But let me stop because we're. And
let's move on.
Yeah,
to the
I know
next
we got other
segment
stuff
of
to
our
work.
show.
Sorry,
the
guys.
biggest segment is coming right up.
The biggest segment is still to come, guys.
Potentially biggest, depending on what we have to say about it. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I would say the last episode we're going to talk about a little bit more, right? But
yeah. All right, so let's get into the Bad Batch. We had three episodes to cover. With episode called. Anybody want to cover it or?
Very short synopsis. I guess I'll do it. Into the Breach. Episode 13 is the last important stop before the Bad Batch find Mount Tantus and rescue Omega. Clone Force 99 work on getting there, while Omega and the other children in the vault work on getting out. Very short synopsis, but we have some stuff to talk about. Well, I mean, what do you guys think? Like, it was, I guess it was just another one of those episodes where they were the last plan to get to Tantus and almost didn't work. Try to make you think that it wasn't going to work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it worked, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say about this episode. It was cool to see Rampart kind of back in his role again, as sort of like it was, some jokes being thrown here. This is a captain or whatever it was, or
yeah. He wouldn't wear the outfit because it was beneath his rank.
This is a captain. Like just funny little things. I find with his character it was some little comedic reliefs with the whole thing or whatever was going on.
Yeah, I honestly thought his reaction or not his reaction, his role in this episode was kind of the most interesting part, because he's like, you see him kind of trying to go both ways too, and then he's like, "Oh, how can I backstab them and get
Yeah.
back in the
You can
empire?"
tell
Like,
the
Yeah.
hamster wheel was running in his brain there, right? Because he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I, I want to get away from these people, but I don't know how. And but these people betrayed me and put me in jail. So
yeah,
um,
yeah. So for me, that was kind of the most interesting part of this
it
episode,
it
particularly.
was because, to be honest, the stuff with the kids, the
Yeah,
children, is kind of like
it's kind of
whatever. Like
one-dimensional, really. Like,
yeah,
you
because
know,
everything's in that room until they start getting out, and until the next episode where they get out and start going through those walls and all that crap. But
And
still,
again,
to me, it still wasn't as like interesting for the whole thing, right? Like you're like, okay, when's the next scene coming up here with the Bad Batch or whatever. It wasn't as interesting to me.
I understood, and from the over, I think it was a good episode. I had to go figure out how to get to Tantus. They were able to find a ship that was able to insert part of it and get, get there. And my biggest issue with it is this should have been episode. I think that they have done. They have put so much effort into that. As we're starting to wind down and end of this series, we're episode 3. We're
Right.
just now slowly starting to figure out how to get. And at this point in the game, I'm looking at episode 14 was 20 minutes, and there's no word on episode how long. And rumor has it it's not going any more. So here we are. We're at the second to last episode series. Another hour to go. This is as far as we've gotten. Wait a minute. How are we gonna get this done in? We've got a lot of work to do here. This should have happened 2 episodes ago. um, that's my only real knock with this. Other than that, everything else. My favorite part of this episode, part where they finally get back to the ship, and Wrecker's there, and where's your crew? Oh, where's your captain? Off captaining?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm laughing at that.
He's
I,
off, Captain.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's true.
I thought they did a good job of progressing out of this. I said my only thing, I would have been happier if this happened.
Right.
That's it for me.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like the next episode has a little bit more meat to talk about per se. So I don't have a ton to say here. I guess it was kind of cool seeing Echo doing his little side mission there, infiltration and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Not a ton to
Well,
say about
we can
this
segue into the
specific
next one
episode.
here. Like it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. True.
having going 14. Last strike. I don't know. You want to cover? Or you want me to?
Uh, yeah, I'll go for it.
Huh?
All right. The penultimate episode of The Bad Batch picks up where the last installment tantalizingly concluded and sets the stage for an exciting high stakes final episode featuring one of the show's coolest moments and also one of the show's funniest remarks. Flash Strike is a Star Wars story epic in scale and rapid in pacing. All of the series' plot threads come together as Omega launches an unexpected escape plan involving a Zillow beast. Rampart is captured by the Empire, and the Bad Batch do everything they can to retrieve their youngest member, with simultaneously great excitement and great anxiety. Star Wars fans, head into the final episode of the Bad Batch next week. The last season finale didn't go as well for the Bad Batch. Rip Tech, and being the final season of the show, seemingly anything can happen to these characters.
I like how it's like the synopsis is kind of like
Yeah, that one has a
it's
bit of
kind of
flair.
like it's kind of you had to be
Yeah,
in the
man.
moment.
I was saying, that really tucks that up, huh?
Next week is going to be a finale.
Yeah, that one has a bit of marketing, we'll call it. But yeah, we see a lot happen in this episode for sure.
Yep.
So obviously, I don't know where I want to start with this.
Well, we can start with them.
Obviously, they're taking on stormtroopers or no matter. Not going. There are moments where you would figure the average clone. I feel like at some point have not. I don't know.
Well, if he was regular, he definitely wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely
I mean,
like hand to hand fighting those crazy jungle monsters. So there's that.
I mean, he's taking a beating in this, and you're just kind of wondering, how is this guy holding on? But outside of that, Hemlock obviously running away, getting captured. It's Hemlock.
The Rampart stuff again.
The Rampart, yeah. I mean, how do you
right? Stood out, right? When they were about to jump from the ship and like, gonna jump, and then he gets stuck and it's like he can't release and he's like, and then I don't know. Then what is it? Does he shoot it or he cuts it off or whatever?
Yeah.
It was just funny. That whole segment sequence.
I mean, again, I'm still having this anxiety watching this episode. Here we are. Still don't know how long this episode's going to be, and no one's giving out any information. This would have been great if this happened. Still feeling at this
point. Right.
I'm like going into the episode where they're finally basically at Mount we're about to really go in and really get to the meat of what's going on. I'm saying to myself, how are we gonna resolve all this in 30 minutes? There ain't no way this is gonna happen. So that's the hard part about watching those last two episodes. Because it's like good stuff happened and it's a good story, but because there's so little time, why is this happening?
Right. Yeah, the order of sequence in the episodes could have been a little better, or just give us longer episodes.
Yeah. But again, that's my I'm nitpicking, but I thought that was a valid nit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your nitpickiness, but again, like to me, these episodes were just like, like again, like the Rampart things stand out for me. The kids stuff didn't really hit me as I don't I know it's part of the story and like it's progressing and they're planning to escape and all this stuff, and the Xylo Beast is in there, that has a huge part of them escaping. And
Oh yeah, I just remembered too. In this episode, that's where Emery and Echo sort of form an alliance too, and get together. And she's helping him and stuff. She kind of notices his droid
well,
head, and
she notices like right away, right, that he's an out of place stormtrooper. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So, and then she's like, "You're Echo," and then I'm like, "All right, like, I guess your
Apparently,
hand
boring old
doesn't."
Emery does
Well,
know
I mean,
stuff.
your robot hand didn't fool her, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, and then they make that little alliance to kind of save the children at the end and all this stuff, which you kind of feel like knew was going to happen with Emery,
yeah,
because as soon as she became the lead scientist and saw the room and all that stuff, things started to roll, um, with her, you know, doing the right thing, right? So,
yeah. Well, even
uh,
when they first started saying, like, sort of talking down to her and being like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. This is, you know, these children mean nothing. They're just assets and stuff like that." You kind of knew her reaction to it was like, "Okay, this is not good. Let's do something about it."
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like these episodes, like yeah, they were really short, and there's a lot of things going on. Well, I mean, there's a few things going on, and Rampart gets captured, and he kind of felt like that was going to happen anyways, because he was just
I
he
mean,
felt like a guy. He was just going to run away. Like as soon as he had the opportunity to run, and he did, right? So
yeah, not surprised. Um,
yeah,
um, I do think I did like the idea that they suddenly popped up. That's something that I had actually forgotten about. That they had. I mean, if you go back to where Palpatine to have that captured and taken for experiments, I didn't know it was Atlantis. So the fact that that
right,
popped up out of nowhere, that was interesting.
yeah,
Well, I think in season 1 of Bad Batch, we also had a second Zillo Beast that was captured by Hemlock in that season. And then also they kept bringing it up too, like, because Hemlock was all stoked about it when Palpatine was there. He's like, "Yes, we have very big exotic creatures," and then he's like, "No, no, I'm not talking about that. Let's talk about Project Necromancer."
yeah. He's like, I don't care about that.
Oh, but I mean, here's to say, nice little twist. Add to the. I do agree with you about the whole. Not for nothing.
Not knocking it up, like it's part of the story, but it's not as interesting, right? Like per
It's
se,
almost like, my God, how much volume are you?
right?
Because they're all tired down. How
Yeah.
will we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can't do that. We're kids.
that. It's like
Isn't it dangerous?
and after a while, it's just like, get some energy, will you?
Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, have a Snickers. Like seriously, like let's go. Pick it up. Have a Gatorade. Let's go. Get some electrolytes. Like
Here's a 5 pound bag of sugar, for God's
yeah.
sake.
Here's a bag of sugar. Let's go.
Looking into it, I guess I was wrong though. I thought we did see the Zillo Beast as well in season 1, but it's not. It's just in the Clone Wars, like you were saying.
There was a Zillo Beast though. I thought there was a Zillo Beast, or was it the ones where? No, I'm pretty sure there
I thought,
was.
I,
Like, because
Yeah,
they
I
were
only thing
just
I
shooting,
looked it
remember
they were
up
is
as
shooting it with a
far as
laser. They were shooting it with a
appearances.
laser.
Well, in the previous episode of this season, when they show it in the enclosure, yeah,
No. But this was outside. It was like on a building, and he was
yeah,
shooting it with this laser, and the laser was giving it energy or something, and something took it out. I can't remember where it was, but I have a vivid
yeah. I
memory
do
of
believe
that.
though it was Clone Wars, like from
Yeah.
what I'm looking at here.
Because I'm thinking that's that they didn't kill it.
Right, they capture it and carry it off with the ships, like multiple ships carrying it at the end.
Or
But
maybe
yeah, it does appear like that
unless it was brought
might have been in Clone Wars.
to Camino for. That's the only thing I can think. I have to go. I have to think. But
Now we're all like looking. Let's
yeah.
go back.
But
Yeah,
while you
yeah,
guys look at that,
it does show that was in the Clone Wars because it
Zilla
shows like
Beast.
it says like the next morning the body of the Zilla Beast is carted away. Anakin laments that it was sacrificed for their mistakes. Palpatine promises everyone that he'll make sure the sacrifice was not in vain. As the Jedi part ways, Palpatine gives new orders to Dr. Bull to clone the Zilla Beast. Clone the Zilla Beast. So I guess it does die,
then that
and then
makes
they clone it. Oh,
and
okay.
there you go, Montantis. All right, yeah, that makes yeah. I said everything there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
time to segue
Big
into the next
episode.
one.
Segue into the
Speaking of which, though,
finale.
guys, the Zillo Beast is originally derived to be like Godzilla, like the Star Wars version of Godzilla. That's where the name comes from.
So, in the episode, Calvary Has Arrived. Is a callback to records that in the last season they show up. Calvary
Oh
Has
yeah,
Arrived.
yeah, yeah. I could see that. See that.
Episode Hot Split. Omega leads the Valium kids on a Shawshank Redemption style escape
Yeah.
through Mount Tantus. Wow, you really found it. Okay. Leading the Imperial Guards into the path of the giant Zillow covered in. Marie quietly works Echo to ground right under Hemlock's nose, and the rest of Course 99 to 10. Their Hemlock activates Shadow Troop, capturing Hunter Wrecker, and Crosshair in their weakened state. And I just want to throw it out there. Echo and Amory hook up with Omega, and Echo and Omega break back and rescue the. They free all the captured prisoners, including the other Rampart and Nihilus. It's a big Spartacus.
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 With the other clones rallying together to help free their brothers. Nihilus say wiping the database of our scientific research. The only way Omega will be safe, Hemlock is gone. Data means
Directly from the script.
yeah. Um first thing I do want to touch on this. How swiftly a Bad Batch.
I know, right? Yeah.
It was like given, yeah, they're in a weakened state, yeah. Holy crap. How any of them survive that, I don't know.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool scene too when he activated them. They made it very ominous.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just point out the resemblance though? Like these shadow troopers, they kind of had like the first iteration of like, or like the inquisitors or something. Like they all had different features. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah,
or they kind of
it's
had
true.
like back to the whole Knights of Ren thing. Like they had a kind of a they all had different like abilities or something. Like they all had a different weapon. They all had a different
Yeah,
whatever.
different
Right? So it
Yeah.
was
specializations or
right. So
whatever.
it kind of was kind of cool how they were different, right?
Mhm. And they never did. You know, people anticipated that we were going to learn the identity of that. The one that was previously throughout the season, but that never did happen, right?
I was one of them too. I was like, because I had posted it somewhere too, and then somebody had brought it up. They're like, who cares? I'm like, I don't know. Like a little part of me wants to care who that was. Like, is it
Yeah,
wrong
Yeah.
for me to think that? No, I
it
don't
was
think so. Like, I
it
know it's
was
been beaten
Morocco.
down, and it's been beaten down, and it's been beaten down. Because it's happened a couple times now, and I get it.
Yeah, it was Morocco 2.0
I
or
get it.
Marek or whatever.
I get it. But I'm just like, I just want. No, did I want it to be tech? No, I didn't want it to be tech. I just wanted to know who. Could it have been somebody, another clone that we knew from back? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
could have been somebody else. I didn't want it to be tech. No, I didn't want that. Like, but I wanted to kind of know. I don't know.
Nothing wrong with wanting.
Right.
yeah.
Right. So,
Even
anyways,
even with that other assassin droid that they capture, I feel like that was maybe a missed opportunity. They could have made that guy one of the clones that we knew from the past too,
right.
right?
Right. You know. Anyways, that was
Oh
just
well.
my little thing. I don't know. Like, it's small, and I know a lot of people cares care a little bit. Like, just it's in the back of my mind. Like, you're not curious. I was like, you're not curious at all. Not really. I'm like, I am.
Well,
Anyways,
especially like when you pointed out that he has like the little whatever device that Tech had
yeah,
on his helmet.
yeah,
Like I kept after you said that, I kept noticing it. I'm like, oh, maybe it is Tech. You know?
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that was just put in there just to get people to think. To be honest, too,
Hmm.
like
Yeah, it could be.
oh, that kind of just to kind of get people's brains going. Oh, that could be tech,
It could
but
be Boba Fett. No,
could
I'm
be
just
Boba
joking.
Fett.
It's one of those two.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just my little thing, I guess, about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity in my mind, but
Yeah.
whatever. Like it's a
I thought
small portion of that small part, whatever,
mhm.
in a bigger
I thought
picture.
the Zillow Beast and the chaos brought by the Zillow Beast was pretty awesome. That was
Godzilla like, right?
some cool scenes. Yeah.
Godzilla like just he
Yeah.
just wrecked everything.
Yeah.
And like when in like the scene where they come in, the kids come in or they come out, and I think there's like two troopers there or two or whatever, and like the Zillo beast is like in the smoke. And I'm like, you guys are idiots. What are you doing? Like, you really think you're gonna take down this thing that just decimated everything with two blasters? I'm like, nope, you're dead, and you're dead.
Yeah.
It
I
Yeah.
was
know.
just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me. So positives for me. I've looked on that morning. That was a 15-minute episode. Like, thank God.
Yes. What is it?
Because
But it wasn't as long as you wanted it to be. You wanted it to be like an hour and a half,
but but at
but
the same
it
but at the
was
same
it was
time,
better.
I was under the
It was
impression we
better.
were going to get a 20-minute episode.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, at
it,
least it
I mean,
wasn't
it
that.
was it was
in
nice to know that
total,
we
it
were
was
going to
like
have
two
some.
episodes put together. Really, like
We were going to have some time to do stuff.
yeah,
The
exactly.
negative side of that is it still needed an
A
hour and a
little longer.
half.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it
Yeah.
did.
No, I agree. I agree.
Because there's just still a lot of plot points that we did not get to.
Yes, I know.
And we're
Yeah.
going to talk about that in a few minutes.
Yes. Yes.
But that being said, this little bit stuff was fun. I enjoyed it. It was good. I kind of like the way everything ended with Rampart and
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
agree.
for now, say basically Rampart was gonna try to capture her again, start everything back up. And said no, drop
Yeah.
their made
Yeah.
on with all perfect,
That's a
perfect.
good way for a snake like Rampart to go out.
Yeah,
Yeah. And a great way for Nala Se to go
That
out
too. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
the impactful sacrifice,
Yeah. It started with her and it ends with her. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I did like that Amory came around and did help them get out of it.
yep.
I like
And
that
became
she's.
less boring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Less boring.
Hi, my name is Emery.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
do your daily
Well,
stuff
especially that they
today.
did a
Oh my
whole
god.
episode with her. I was like, oh my gosh.
Didn't we just watch this? Yeah. Is this recycled stuff?
Yeah, and then also realistically, that episode could have fully been cut out because most of what happens in that episode is reflected before and after that in several scenes. So it's like,
Yeah. And it comes back to the whole filler episodes. Like,
yeah,
we could have
yeah.
done without it.
Actually, I was thinking about that. I wonder if Emery was inserted into the story because it was too short. Let's draw it out, make it a little more boring, you know.
yeah. Um, I love the idea that they went back to save all their brothers. It only seems.
Well, that's it. Like, and they were all like, gung ho to have one last battle. You know what I mean? Like one
Mhm.
last fight, right?
Yeah.
Or at least a handful that came forward.
Right.
Oh, that we're
Right.
able to.
Yeah, that
Right.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is going to lead into my segue into what I didn't like about the number one. He's basically if you weren't an injured live that up.
Yeah.
It's pretty much once you got into that room, every clone that went into that room.
All of them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, I do feel like three of them should maybe Hunter. Once Crosshair's arm got cut off,
Mhm.
I think should have been done with there. And
Yeah.
the beating that Wrecker took over and over and over again.
Mm.
It's true.
How he didn't die, I don't.
And he still like seems like he's fine. Like you're like,
Well,
Yeah,
no, he's
okay.
not fine though
Well,
because
no, no,
he's
not
like
fine, but
I can go on and then he realizes he can't, right?
yeah. But I mean, he's still like you said, he's not dead, and you're like, how does that?
Yeah.
How are you not dead? Like you're like basically when he was fighting that guy up in the and he was like, the guy had the electrical rod on him. He's like,
yeah. It's
and he's just like grabs it, and he's like, like you're like, how are you not dead? Like,
but my point is, if he had dropped at that point and that was it, I would have stood up and said bravo.
like
I would have
saving them, yeah,
I would
yeah,
have
or
stood
something,
there
yeah.
and clapped and been like, you are the man.
Yeah.
But he lived. And now I'm just
I
saying,
thought he
how are
was
you
gonna.
still alive?
Yeah, I mean, you felt like he should have died a couple episodes ago, or like
Yeah.
an episode ago in the forest there when they were making their run to Tantus. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it also leads
Yeah.
to a couple of questions, and I sorry. I understand how the Philippines take care of a lot, but crap. At some point, I feel like I said,
There's a few.
Rex.
Uh-huh.
I was hoping to see Rex in this, maybe showing up with some clones to help, maybe save some of those brothers that
I was
all
hoping.
just
That's
died.
what I was hoping the whole time,
Yeah,
knowing what this episode was. You know what I mean? That's what
yeah.
I thought was gonna happen, man.
Getting to a moment where maybe he sits there and him and Wolf looks at him and says, "Trying to save us.
Yeah. There's another one.
Don't leave him alone." And at that point, the two of them finally come together. That would have been a great moment. Gregor was already there. It
Yeah.
would have been great. Cody doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people keep saying, "What's the worst Cody?" I never had a feeling.
Bothers me a little bit more than you, but
Huh?
bothers me a little bit more than you, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. I know there's been stuff written that he's had deceased or something, but or maybe he just I don't know, gets lost in the ranks of the Empire, or I don't know.
Yeah. So
But
I mean, don't get me wrong. He showed up. It, that wouldn't break my war. Um, last important at the end, and we go find out she's kind of in a, and we see there is man,
yep.
and she's just like, well, now I'm going to fight for the pilots. Okay.
The rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm a little upset with it. I can't help it. I mean, we went through a whole episode where we knowing what I know now, did we really need to be purpose really serving?
Well, I
Let,
think
let's face it.
well, if you recall like what they were saying about it, part of the reason why they did that is because they have plans for her in future content, right? So
But you really tease that notion that over Mega was force sensitive. Josh Ventress really pushed the not only is force sensitive, he's force sensitive.
I thought Ventress determined she was not force sensitive.
No, she lied to her.
Oh, right.
She
Yeah,
said
yeah.
it was
She
not
And
lied to
you
true.
her. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
could tell and Hunter caught it.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But it really led to the thought that at some point Saj is going to situation and she's trained Mega. Which also back to my idea of the Bad Batch. The idea is he helped get her out. Crosshair and Wrecker died there at Tantus. Hunter maybe died as they got out. And Asajj is the one who takes her. Is a, I'm not saying she's a Jedi. Asajj was, but
Yeah, also if she was, she potentially would be part of the greater story that we already know with the rebellion battling the Empire. You think they would know if there was another Jedi around and stuff?
not,
You know what I mean?
not technically a Jedi.
No, I'm saying
Part of,
if she did go
part,
down that route, then we would potentially have that as part of the story, right?
I mean,
Potentially.
the one thing we do know now is they've said Asajj exactly what all that path or
Oh. Yeah, with
whatever the Jedi Underground Railroad.
yeah.
Which if that's the case, then that would put her in a situation Finland.
Right.
I would feel, but perfect situation. Child, again, not necessarily the light side, dark side, a little bit of both. Maybe just balance.
Yeah, I don't know how you could say all that without mentioning Gonki. What? Gonki is there on the ship. Let's go.
Hey, did he survive?
Well, I
I
guess
missed
we
that.
don't. Yeah, really? You didn't see it? Yeah, when she gets on the ship. Well, we don't know it's Gonki, but we know there's a Gonk droid that looks
Okay, it's
exactly
Gonki.
like
Hello.
Gonki.
They're not
Yeah.
making
Oh,
another
thank you.
Gonki. It's Gonki.
Oh,
Come on. He survived that explosion. Okay.
Yeah, apparently. Like I had kind of resigned to the thought that okay, Gonki didn't survive. We don't see him again after the loss of the Marauder until that last scene where it just yeah, he's just there and making noises. It's like beep
Well,
beep beep.
everybody survives almost, you know?
Yeah. So happy ending.
Well, I think that's what they kind of were like. I know we all wanted, or we all were expecting, like to lose most of the Bad Batch in this, like, and
Mhm.
you kind of deep down you kind of wanted to, because it would kind of just would have been like a good send off, you know, they're in battle and all this stuff, but it
Mhm.
is Disney as well, and it is they want to end in sort of a happy way, I guess. So
Yeah.
maybe like you said, maybe Wrecker, or maybe I mean, I Crosshair should have died, to be honest, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to kind of show like he sacrificed in the end, like he knew what he did was wrong, yada yada, and I'm gonna sacrifice this, I'm gonna do this by myself, and I'm gonna, or I don't know, something in that sense, that grand gesture, I guess. And then, you know, I always thought Hunter was gonna probably survive myself. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a different way that we all thought it was going to go. So
Yeah, for me, whenever they go into stories of like the past where it would potentially affect the story of what we've already seen, but it doesn't, I just imagine everybody always dies. So that's kind of what I thought with it. Like we don't hear about the Bad Batch and their efforts in from Rex and them and the rebels and stuff like that. So I just figured like, yeah, everybody dies. We move on.
right.
Except for Gonki.
Well, we're gonna get Tales of Gonki now, right? So that's
Tales
coming
of
up.
Gonki, let's go.
Yeah.
all going droids throughout the universe.
All the Gonk droids come together.
Yeah.
Gonki's their leader.
The Gonk lore.
The wills of Gonki.
uh,
Yeah. I don't know. And so I guess, did you guys think that, the way that Hemlock went down, that was also, did you guys think that was going to happen that way? Or like we all knew he was going to die. There's no way he was going to live or whatever, right? It's just, uh, I don't know. It was just kind of, kind of funny that the last shot that sort of Crosshair does is like the one that he gets. You know what I mean? He's got one less hand, and he's using Hunter's shoulder, like, you know what I mean? Like he's just like half like whatever, and
But it's not his
he
twitching
just
hand.
and pulls it off.
it's not his. I guess it's not his twitching hand. Yeah, I guess it got cut off, and he was probably like, "Oh, it's gone," like whatever. But I don't know. It was I mean, he was going to die. We knew that was going to happen. That whole sequence, it kind of gave you that sort of, I think I mentioned this to my buddy. I was like, this kind of reminds me of like the Attack of the Clones there, when Obi-Wan's going after Jango Fett, and there's this whole like thing going on, and they're fighting each other on this place where it's raining, and That sort of gave me that feel. And then Scorch goes down. You're like, Scorch dies. Like he did nothing in
Yeah.
this whole thing. He's like this lieutenant leader of the of these guys and the commandos, and like he just does nothing. He just dies. And you're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
about the
For me,
GM thing.
as we were learning about Project Necromancer, I kind of presumed that it would have to do with like the whole Exegol thing, like down the road, like the cloning of Palpatine and the, preserving of his future life and all that kind of stuff. So the fact that it died right there with Hemlock was actually quite a surprise to me, as far as, we do have clone version of Palpatine in the future and all that, right?
That's the thing. It's like maybe they think that it died.
Well, that's
Mhm.
where I think they're making us feel that way, but we know it doesn't. There's got to be another story that bridges this, where the data keeps going. They're gonna probably come out with something. Oh, before Nala Se destroyed everything, it got sent off to somebody. Kind of stupid thing. Like, it's got to keep going. So somebody's got the information somewhere.
And I would be
Or
surprised if it
maybe the Emperor had like a tap on the whole facility, and like he pulled the information or something. Like, I don't know. Like,
I would think their Japanese always pulling under
he
their
always
nose.
knew.
They don't even realize.
Yeah. Yeah. They do. Yeah, they do say like, oh, the only copy of it was in that room and blah blah blah. But yeah, what do they know, right?
How many
Yeah.
lies go through the Empire? Like,
Yeah.
run through the whole thing.
If the Empire lies, that can't.
Wave.
No way.
Yeah.
The Honest Empire?
The honest Empire. Yeah. Nobody ever says that. Who says that?
Everybody calls it that, don't they?
The honest. Yeah. Yeah. It's on there. That's what they're told when they join the Empire.
Yeah,
It's the
peace and
honest Empire.
prosperity, right?
Honest. Yeah. Got to bring peace to the galaxy.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah,
means
for
necessary.
sure.
Yeah. Any means necessary. Right. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know anything else that we want to mention about that episode.
I
I
think
don't know.
that kind of covers it for.
One thing that kind of came to mind as Omega was moving on to, join the rebellion as a pilot and stuff is the potential of the upcoming, what's that show called again? Rogue Squadron?
Rogue Squadron, yep.
Maybe she will be part of that.
I think there's been stuff going around, but you never know.
We'll see where it all. There's a lot of chances to intermingle.
Yeah.
Somebody had mentioned they're like, they're making an Omega series. They're not gonna make an Omega series. Like, come on. There's no way that anybody would.
We already had an Omega series. It was called the Bad Batch.
Yeah,
they're
3
not
whole
gonna
seasons of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Were you not watching like the rest of them?
But again, like they're giving the character an opportunity to pop up somewhere else. Like they're going to do that somewhere, and they're going to do it. It's just where or how big of a role they're going to have, and whatever's going to happen. Like, because there's a lot of that Rogue Squadron stuff that is still, all the X-wing stuff and all the whatever it is. Like, there's a potential to have stuff with that too, right? So, and that's interesting.
Yeah,
she could
and
be
at
part of
this
that.
point, all that stuff is under lock and key, so we have no idea what they're gonna do. I gotta say though, like
I think
excited,
man. Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, yeah. One thing, I think I might have said this before, but pretty good of them the way that they developed these characters. Like at the beginning, I thought I was gonna, care less about the Omega character. She's kind of usually when there's a kid character, I'm like, okay, whatever. But by the end of it, I was, pretty attached to these characters and her and all that. So I think they did a pretty awesome job of character development here with the show in general.
Agreed. Agree with that because they definitely Omega, who was annoying as this character. By season 3, part of the team. I
And less annoying.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of knew her did well at it. Yeah, I got them bad to say. It's the same way I felt about I don't know. First time I saw her in the first movie. God, why did you win? By season and
She was
better.
your favorite.
Well, let's not go that far. I have my favorites, but
Yeah.
obviously I liked her character more and more as we. Yeah, it just goes to show that when they want to, Star Wars can right. I just hope that as we keep moving forward.
Mm. Yeah.
That note I've got for
I've got nothing else.
Mm,
is
yeah, there was something else I wanted to say, but I am completely drawing a blank, so let's leave it at that.
okay. Not for nothing, we are pushing into one of our longest episodes ever, and anybody have anything else? Period.
uh, yeah, I have a little quick one. I don't know if you guys seen it on Disney Plus on Mother's Day. They had a little special called May the 12th Be With You. You guys see that?
No.
So yeah, basically it was a thing with like various Disney Plus shows coming together. So it's like Marge Simpson is the main character, and then they go to um Disney World, and there's like a whole Star Wars thing that plays out and stuff. It's a short little quickie little video thing, but it was fun. Recommend checking it out. If you have Disney Plus, May the 12th be with you, it's called.
All right.
Yeah.
No.
Hey,
Oh, that's good.
That's it.
I think
That's it.
I think we're to basically
Or a couple episodes
yeah.
together.
Uh, but before we do that, my friends, where can we find you? Swampgrass.
So I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/swampgrass420. And yeah, I'm out there doing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content from Monday to Friday, sometimes Sundays, and uh, Marvel Strike Force content Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday after the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content. So almost every evening I'm out there in the Twitchverse. You can find me.
Andy Pete.
Twitch.tv/Andy_beats and mainly playing Marvel Snap on usually Saturday mornings, bright and early, 7 a.m. Eastern time. That's in the middle of the night for he never catches it, but he always watches my VODs, I think. Yep, right. I'm John. But that's that's usually that's probably the best place you can find me on Twitch.
And I am Dr. Find me on Twitch. I haven't been on the past week. Real life issues I had to go through. Back this week. Again. Star Wars. Life in general. have some fun. Right on twitch.tv/Darth _ obviously at all the I'm pretty much
Yeah.
Darth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might as well do a verbal call out of our socials just for anybody listening on the on the Spotify or whatever, audio only. So anyways, YouTube, youtube.com at Shadow Collective Podcast. Our Twitter is twitter.com/TSC_SW podcast. On Discord, we're on Discord. You can find us by searching the Shadow Collective. Instagram, we're on there as TSC_SW podcast. And on Spotify, if you search for, I think if you just search for the Shadow Collective, right?
If you put the Shadow Collective, yeah, that's correct.
It'll
Yeah,
come up.
it'll
So
come up.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's our social, guys. Go check us out. Hit the likes, subscribes, comments, all the follows, everything that you can do will do great things for us as far as growing this channel and making it more of a staple in the world. Let's go.
And on that note, we're gonna call this our episode, and back in a couple or
Hopefully.
time. Thank you as always for joining us.